Is it me you're looking for? Sorry.
Welcome to Axe to Grind,
The Lionel Richie podcast.
the Lionel Richie podcast you've always wanted. The only one. Actually, there's probably a bunch on
I wonder
iTunes.
how many there are.
That's probably a fucking bunch.
I bet there's 3, and one of them's really good, and the other 2 are just hacks.
Kind of inactive. I'm Patrick,
I'm Bob.
And I'm Tom.
and we are excited again.
Again.
We are. So we
No one.
we enjoy every episode. But certain episodes we do the Birdman, rub your hands together sort of thing, get a little excited. And this is one of those.
Chris Anderson.
So before we get into all that,
The
though,
other Birdman.
let's... Yeah, the other Birdman. Before we get into all that, let's
He's acting like he knows.
He does. He knows more than he puts on.
give
Yeah.
a shout
He's
out.
on the internet a lot.
I am on the internet a lot.
That's true.
Also, he had like a moment.
He did. He had a comeback, which was really a nice story.
Yeah, it's a nice story.
Tat blasted.
He was one of
Have
the
you seen-
cat
He's a tat
blasted.
daddy.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen I think it's on Instagram, pretty prevalent, the evolution where it shows his profile pictures, his chest ups,
No.
and it shows him every year in his NBA career as he evolves.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Where's he now?
Not
Costa
playing.
Rica.
Oh, not playing.
Not playing.
Not playing anywhere. Not even
I don't know.
overseas.
Let's look it up while we do an ad for our friends at Death Wish Inc.
Okay, Death Wish. Simultaneously looking up the Birdman.
All right, so we're reaching into the vault today because Death Wish is a label that has quite an extensive catalog. I'm picking out Shipwreck AD. Their Shipwreck Abyss is their full length. The EP, they did a 7-inch right before this, Squall. That was a cool little single. Their first 7-inch really hit hard at the time. They were kind of the young boys to the Guns Up, Have Heart verse crowd kind of thing. But they were a little harder, a little more integrity influence, but from Boston. I think if they had their way, they would have sounded more like Cast Iron Hike or 454 Big Block. But I don't think those bands were good.
Interesting.
Cast Iron Hike?
I tried. I wanted to like that.
Fuck with it.
Yeah.
Cast Iron Hike is one that like kind of still gets a nod, and I don't know if it holds up.
I wanted to
God,
like
I
it so
listened to
much, but I didn't. But I do like Shipwreck. This LP is I don't know if it's a concept record, but it's definitely a fully formed, as we're fond of saying, record where there's a concept to it, and it's pretty cool. So you should go get that. And anything else we want to check out at the Death Wish store? Really, just scroll through that back catalog. We don't know what they got planned for 2019.
Now they're very withholding, even from
I know.
us.
Seriously.
It's not state secrets, my dude.
Come on. We just want to know about it.
Birdman was so. By the way, everybody, we're talking about Chris Anderson.
Former professional basketball player.
Yeah. When originally I was talking about Baby Birdman,
Birdman.
but now I'm talking about Chris Anderson. Chris Anderson, interestingly, so he was waived from the Hornets as soon as he was acquired. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's 2017.
Trade filler.
They do that. So
Matching
they
salaries.
get your money out. Yeah.
So he was reported to have signed a contract with the big three
Oh,
to join the
shit.
draft pool.
Do you know what the big 3 is?
I have no idea.
All right. Do you know?
Oh, is
yeah, of course.
it like Big Baller brand?
Yeah.
Not too far off. Ice Cube is the commissioner.
Okay, I'm backing
part
this already.
owner.
Backing it.
Michael Rappaport is the sideline interviewer.
I back it.
They are a 3-on-3 basketball league that is it's going into its second season, perhaps,
Yeah.
maybe third. They got in with some NBA talent as player coaches, aka
Okay.
Allen Iverson is the player coach. AKA he played for
loves
2
to see
minutes.
that. Everybody loves to
The
see
answer.
that, though.
He played for 2 minutes and gave several interviews where he said, "Hey, this shit is over. I can't dunk. I haven't dunked in 10 years. I cannot play bad." It was really good. So I don't know if it's good or entertaining.
I'd go.
I'd go for free.
It's 3-on-3 full court basketball.
So it's fast though.
Yeah. But it's all like dudes that are like. You ever like go to those theaters where it's just like, hey, this movie was like just out of most theaters, so you can see it for $5?
Oh,
Yeah.
cheap theaters. Yeah,
That's what this is.
Yeah.
It's like dudes that like just retired, so they're still like.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if,
you really
if the
wanted
price
to-
was right, I think that's cool.
It's
Yeah.
not like a Legends game where it's like, oh, you put on 50 pounds,
This
you
is
just
something.
stop playing.
Right.
This is something that would happen in the Armory.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like that.
Like you could go and hang out with Antoine Walker and Glenn Big Dog Robinson.
It's
probably
fantastic.
probably take pictures with them and buy them a hot dog, to be honest.
That's true.
So
we're going to Barclays Center this summer to go watch the Big Three. Did he get drafted? How did he not get drafted yet?
Oh, he's in. He's drafted.
He's
I
in.
wanted him to go to the Beijing Ducks like Marbury.
He helped the Power, which is a team, I guess.
It's also a TV program.
Yes, it is. Win
And Chandler.
the 2018 Big Three championship.
Oh wow, good job.
Chris Anderson always winning.
Does he have any NBA championships? I'm trying to remember. He might have been on one of those Heat teams, though. He might have been on one of those Heat teams that won.
What do we got?
He was on the Nuggets.
Nuggets was early. Then he was on the Hornets, and then he was on.
I feel like he might have been on like.
2013, 2016 Heat. So
So he
missed it.
because the Heat won in 2011, 2012, 2013. So he was on the team that lost to the Spurs.
also 2016, 2017 Cavs.
So yeah, he
That's an
probably had a
interesting-
spin there. That
that's
was a
an
funny.
They win a
Did he
championship.
play?
They went to the finals.
They
That
lost it.
16,
Was that the
17?
3-1?
It might be. Anyways,
Sports. Well,
Shout
we're priming the pump.
Yeah.
So we're talking
Right.
about sports. So when we get to
yeah.
There's a lot to talk about with this guy, by the way. Also, for his 18th birthday, he got his first tattoo on his 18th birthday. It was a gift from his mother. She has tattoos of her own from her association with the Banditos Motorcycle Club.
Of course.
Also, he is the only NBA player, or he's the only student of Blinn College to ever play NBA basketball.
I don't even know what Blinn College is.
Never heard of it before in my life. And he was the target of an elaborate catfishing hoax in 2013.
Wow. Not like what was the dude from the Fighting Irish? Manti Te'o?
Yeah.
Manti Te'o,
Yeah.
And he had a fake girlfriend. They're like, "Yo, it's fake," and he was like, "But I love her." Like he,
You know what?
was not hearing it.
We've talked about it on this podcast. People that low rate my dude for falling in love can kiss my ass.
We love. You know who would never get catfished? Sam Yarmouth from Triple B Records.
Not
Yeah.
once. Not once.
Because he's got that, Doctor. What's his name? Doctor Evil.
Dr. Claw.
Doctor.
He's got that BBB energy.
Yeah. So
mean,
Dr.
he's got
Claw,
a-
Sam of Triple B, never catfished once, has been putting out hella good records. Yes. So for people at home, those are.
Gadget.
Hold on. Let's hear Sam's fingers tap across the his evil board. Oh, there it is. There it is. So fucking evil. So.
Next time, Gadget.
Really good. Whoa, that was
Yeah,
really
give us
good.
another one of those. You're too far away from the mic when you do that low
sorry.
voice.
Wait till you see what I have for you next time, Gadget.
We need to get you a cat. So, okay.
I'm allergic.
Is that right?
Yeah. Give me a dog.
Kind of tragic.
No, cats suck.
But you want to be able to pet one when they come up to you.
I mean, I do, and I just make sure I
Yeah,
don't
then you
rub
just
my
got
eyes.
hives. Okay. What's
Check out this never-ending game promo tape, Gadget.
You should. You should, actually. Look, can we say Never Ending Game along with reserving Dirt Nap, certainly, but also who's the... they just fucking headlined FYA.
3 knee deep.
3 knee deep. Can we say that there is like...
A renaissance.
There is. I think there's a renaissance for ridiculous heavy music.
Face Rack. Hello.
Yeah, it's true. Face
They
Wreck went over
headlined an
well.
after show.
Face Wreck went over well. But so there might be a renaissance right now, and everybody owes it to yourself to be in on the ground floor. Pick up that Never Ending Game release. What is it? It's a promo?
Promo tape, 2-song promo tape. Go get it. Get that physical.
Listen to that. You're going to fucking go nuts.
I heard they had one of the standout performances at this year's Fuck Your Attitude Fest in Tampa, Florida.
I don't doubt that for a second.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
What are you drinking here, Bob?
Iced tea.
Yeah, it's crazy. So do you come with no iced tea and you just leave the bag in there, or what's
do you
your
mean?
deal?
No, I have a sun tea jar, like old style. 2 tea bags in there. Let it do its thing.
Yes.
Then I put a little sugar in.
Okay.
I'm still. And then I put in these, and then I refill, and then I fill the other 2. So I have 4.
That's why you have to pee like 3 times an episode. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's
don't
good.
think-
It's a lot of liquid. I'm doing like almost 200 ounces a day, maybe more.
God damn.
Staying
That's a lot.
hydrated.
At what point does it
It feels
become
good.
dangerous?
It's what I've asked. I don't know.
I think no, it's a lot.
Contingent on your body.
It's a lot, and it's a lot. Yeah, like it doesn't. I never feel weird. It actually is really nice because there's a lot of water, and it's helped me quit drinking soda almost completely, other than special occasion.
It's awesome. For both of our sponsors, you're gonna want to use a promo code to get 10% off. For people at home,
AXETOGRIND.
you guys are better than I would never be able to do it like that.
I gave you credit to someone not long ago. Who was it?
For my inability to spell?
No, your ability, your lyrical ability, and some of your song platforms. Because I was like, even though you can't sing that well, you have a good flow. Yeah.
Okay.
And when you hear like Caroline, I'm like, I point to that. I'm saying, if you don't like Pat's vocals, listen to her and listen to what she does with him. Because maybe that's a side.
So
career
Pat should
for
be
you.
a ghostwriter, is what you're saying.
He could be.
I could be.
I
Yeah.
think he could be. I think he'd do quite well.
Yeah, I'm being asked to write some country songs right now. But anyway,
That's an interesting flow for you.
it is.
Go for it.
I've ghostwritten a few country songs actually, and I'm pretty fucking good at it. But they're creepy. They're like
When are you
they're
getting the
creepy.
writer
Like
credit so you
outlaw
can get some
fucking-
publishing?
Yeah.
They're creepy.
homie?
It's a great question.
When are we moving to Nashville? When are you going to fucking Writer's Row? Let's see. We could do
love
like AXETOGRIND. Buy yourself a shirt.
I think that-
maybe an LP.
I think that RIND part doesn't quite sing yet, but we can.
No,
dial
I
it in.
actually didn't mind it. I liked how you did the split up.
I actually stole it from the
AXE,
Chappelle show.
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, well,
I can't just say
anyway,
anything.
If we could do the AXETOGRIND.
Buy
We
yourself
gotta
a
do-
shirt, maybe an LP.
Oh, wow! All right, yeah, we can
No,
put
no,
this.
you
All right,
lose
we're
me.
working.
No,
We can put
no,
this
I'm
together.
sorry. I'm not. I didn't
And
make
you're
you
gonna-
fucking. I'm not in a Star is Born like you, fucking Bradley. Okay.
We can put it together. So look,
If you call us at 732-443-3887 with your jingle, and it's good, we're going to give you some stuff. I don't know. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. Yeah.
okay, everybody, both labels and listeners report that 10% is killing it in these stores. So fucking go do it.
And in the streets, it's
and-
killing it in the streets.
killing it in the streets.
Get
So
yourself a fanny pack.
get
Whatever
yourself-
they call it. What do they call it now? It's
a
not
clout bag.
clout bag.
Yeah.
That's what you put all.
That's what it's called, a clout bag.
Now it's like a shoulder bag now. Like no one wants to call it a fanny pack.
Clout bag,
Are you fucking with me?
and I think that's what it's called.
Well, it's a Supreme clout bag.
Yeah, I'll look it up right now. See if it comes up when I search clout
Like, what
bag.
is Trail of Lies thing called? That's like I'm going to the gym bag. Like I don't feel like carrying a duffel bag.
When I search clout bag, it all comes. It's Fashion Nova's selling it, Poshmark's
Really?
selling
They're
it,
calling it a
Status.
clout bag.
They're all calling it a clout bag.
I hate so much.
Wow. Clout Gear sells bags.
Wow.
New sponsor, cloutgear.com.
Wow.
Fix your rig.
All right, everybody.
Cloutgear.com.
You use that promo code. Make sure you sing song it into the fucking.
Use voice to text,
Speak to your monitor.
axe to grind.
There you go.
There we go. Guess what today is?
Oh fuck! Is it Mosh Madness?
Mosh Madness.
We got
Fuck.
a jump
We in
ball.
it.
We
We
got a
fucking
jump
in it.
ball.
Let's fucking go in, my dudes.
The possession arrow is to Bob.
Let's go. Part 3. We're going to do. This is another mix. Last time, part 2. How do we feel about part 2?
Strong.
It was a good. It was a good.
It was a good
little
mix.
talk.
Outside, who were the Vane and Nails? Gave us more than a mid tempo.
Yeah.
There's a couple of fast parts. The rest of it,
A lot of
on
standard
this-
rock.
Yeah, I think we get a couple. Man, there's a couple highlights on here. So I
I'm very
think you
excited.
guys are gonna be happy because every episode could be someone's first episode. Rules of the game: listen to the records before you vote.
Yes.
If you aren't listening to the records, you're not playing the game the right way. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat. the
And you will
game.
be disqualified.
Yeah, we don't know how to
Yeah.
DQ you, but we got some
we
high ups.
could, we would.
We've been doing so well with Twitter that the high ups are been. We might have a connection at Twitter executive office.
I'll get Jack on the phone.
Okay, fuck it.
When are we
and it'll be
getting- when are we getting
deleted.
that check?
Hopefully soon.
Can we get the
Certified.
You want the Twitter
yeah.
money? Oh, the blue check.
not the check, Jack.
No,
We're
the
not
verified.
giving-
Yeah, we do. I
You're
wanted
verified,
money.
right?
Yes. I am
How did you
verified.
get it? Did you have to reply? You have to apply for it?
No.
That's when he made his personal Wikipedia page and all that shit. That's when.
Got it.
Yeah, actually, I tried to back shit up by being like, look, I exist. And then they said, you don't exist. But I did. I personally, no, my band is checked. My personal account
your
is not
personal's not-
checked.
yeah, yeah.
Not
do you
checked.
ever use your personal account?
He does.
I do to promo comic stuff.
No, you know what happened was he was at one of those big parties he goes to. Haley, his model friend.
Sure, yep.
That's right.
And they went over to somebody. He's like, "Hey, this guy's with us. Can you?" And they're like, "Oh, sure."
Yeah.
And they pushed a button on their phone.
And that's it.
verified.
Is it a certain number you got to hit?
No, actually. So there's two ways to do it. If you have a direct line to either Twitter or Instagram, as some labels do, right? Because you'll notice some labels, pickup artists, they have 300 followers and they're checked.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it. I think the self-defense one did it organically just by having enough engagement.
You guys had a good engagement for a long time.
Yeah.
When did it stop?
Oh, it's still good. It's just assholes. It's like now it's just people that you wouldn't want to deal
Has
with.
Axe to Grind been good or bad for the average self-defense Twitter engagement?
Honestly, it's very interesting. I don't see
You don't see a ton of crossover?
Yeah,
Okay.
really interesting.
I see a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you promoted it more, I mean,
Oh yeah, he said he's trying. You heard his diatribe on that on the one.
I'm
episode he did
trying.
that joke?
I'm trying to promote everybody. Lift.
Well, you got to
everybody.
promote your stuff. What's up with PCR?
Okay, everybody
doing
at home. Actually,
There's some off-camera.
off mic, we're going to talk about some cool,
Okay, cool.
thing that I'll use this platform for all of our sakes.
Yeah.
So yes, one of my comics just came to a close. It'll be available as a trade paperback in April. Another one is
a trade paperback is a compilation of like.
Or graphic novel.
Yeah, you can.
okay.
It's like
I
all
bought a
5
Watchmen
issues.
graphic novel because
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it was all about.
There you
go.
go.
Never read it.
No, and to a layperson, you're exactly right. Trade paperback, they take what's single issues, what is often called floppies, and they put them together. Typically 4, 5, or 6.
Okay.
So
Is it
instead of getting
legitimately all
22
put
pages,
together,
yeah, oh yeah.
like is it like
No, they don't glue those pieces. They don't glue those individual comics together.
and
That's
like
your
just
question.
put it in the
No,
spine?
no. Separate printing. And if you work for like places that are work for hire, it's your second income is when those things are
When it
collected.
hits to trade, which
Right.
is nice.
So
That's a good look.
So any of our listeners who work at comic shops, or if you got, I know that someone we work for has to have some connection to a Barnes & Noble. I want that trade in there. Figure that out.
And put in front of every.
put in front of everyone.
If you guys get it in there, we'll push for the NCAP program.
So now, once your book hits the. Welcome to comic book. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find this stuff fascinating.
This is fascinating.
Once it hits a trade book or whatever the fuck you just called it.
Trade paperback or hardcover. It's all the language is
But then it
confusing
hits
because there's a lot of
like a bookstore and not just a comic book store. It gets out of the comic book
Correct.
ghetto. Is that correct?
Yes, it can. It not necessarily does.
Because
but it can.
I can't go into Barnes and Noble and buy your comic.
No, but you can pick up some of my trades there.
Yeah.
And
Same thing with Amazon. No, Amazon does carry your stuff.
Amazon carries
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. Amazon's huge.
I mean, they just carry everything. Yeah.
but I have a new series coming out in February called Nobody's in Control that is for fans of conspiracy stuff. It is my favorite work that I've done, and it has the most niche audience. It's like being in a band. It's when you look at something that you've created that you're deeply proud of, and you know that is for a niche that like will probably really love it, and nobody outside of that may even be inclined to pick it up.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, what a frustrating existence I have.
How far are we from your shared universe?
I am
Because I feel like it's a stretch to do PCR and what was the book, The Hawaiian Runner?
survival fetish.
Survival Fetish. We could create that as a same world, but it's a stretch.
So for people,
Like, oh shit, Hawaii, those islands are on their own tip.
Okay,
When's the Netflix?
That's frozen in
hold
time.
on. Let me.
Because you should. These Pat, I am a comic book reader on the regular. Pat's last 2 books, I think, are his strongest effort. Patience, Conviction, Revenge is my favorite of his work because it leans more to stuff that I'm interested in. It's exciting. It's fast. It's got a large cast of characters that are immediately familiar and fun within the first issue. The Survival Fetish is a really good book that has a unique spin that I think would appeal to PCR. Patience, Conviction, Revenge is good for anyone who likes action comics, sci-fi, kind of like, or superhero stuff they'd really dig. Survival Fetish, if you're more of an indie reader, I think you'd vibe on. It's got an action slant to it, but it would play really well as a movie.
I own it.
So survival fetish. You know how this is going to sound grandiose. You know how
great
John Carpenter has his Apocalypse trilogy.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this? So I'm not trying to do trilogies, but I'm trying to do mirror books. So I wrote a book a few years ago called There's Nothing There. I really love it. But the only people that really love it as much as I do are women who work at comic book stores. You know, I mean, it did not find a larger audience. So, but I tried with Survival Fetish to tell similar themes, but through a hyper masculine lens, and see
Hope
what
you can like grow out that.
see if there would be a different response. See like if people even picked up on those themes being similar or whatever. But Survival Fetish is, for some of our listeners, probably the one that pulls from a lot of, like, do you know who I'm trying to get to write the forward? The Baron from Amebix, who emailed me back.
Oh, yes.
What?
Yes.
Now,
That's a huge win.
if I could get it, it wouldn't mean a thing to any of my readers, but it would mean the world to me. I consider it a very crust piece of fiction.
You guys throw him like a 50? How does this work?
What's that?
You throw him a sawbuck? How do you get him to do this?
He was just very, very magnanimous and was like, hey, I'm a busy guy, but if I can get this in time for it to matter to you, then I'll try to do that.
That's sick.
Very cool as shit.
So
How'd you get his, what is it, like the Baron at
no. He does.
Amebix.com.
Yeah.
No, he's got another thing that he does for a living, and you can
Yeah.
reach him through that.
Yeah.
But the it's so for crust people, maybe that's.
Will he sing on
So-
the World Profiteer record?
That's where we're
That's a
building
dream.
to. Really, wait a second. So Monolith is not still paying the bills full time. Is that where we're positing
It
here?
may not be paying the bills full time. He's now
Would that be a warning to all of you nascent punk music writers?
that you should develop a craft.
Careers are
as
following.
Rob Miller has, making swords.
Did you see Andrew's video where he was sharpening a knife?
No.
I think you don't follow him enough. I think he might be getting into craft stuff. We need to figure that
Okay,
out.
all right.
Which I told him, I was like, let's get trade jobs. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, check out my comic book stuff. Even you don't got to like anything I say on here to potentially enjoy those.
No. You barely have to like Patrick.
Next
It probably
Netflix
helps if you
special
don't.
in 2020.
Survival Fetish would make quite a good Netflix vehicle. Patience, Conviction, Revenge. We're waiting for the next set. So
Hey man, if
let's make
Gerard
that
Way
work.
can do it, why can't you?
It's a great question.
Umbrella Academy.
Very successful for him. Yeah.
Very, very well.
Is that like in the scheme of things? Is that a big? I don't know
It
anything
went
about
big, and the big difference was that it was well respected. So a
it. It was
lot.
popular and
Yes,
like
and critically.
critically.
Yes,
So now
it helped
does
that he was
do the
working
same
with a
thing you do?
truly brilliant artist. But go on.
He's the writer, like you are.
Yeah.
Now he obviously has some visual kind of expertise.
Yeah, he's like an aesthetic guy. Yeah.
How much of that do you do?
You
well-
haven't seen his unbagging videos, my dude.
Yeah. Watch it. Yeah. Watch
they're-
watch my
they're
Insta
so
stories.
incredible. But I mean, like, do you like give your tracer, whoever the fuck?
Tracer.
I know I watch fucking.
Illustrator.
You're a tracer.
He's been watching that Greg Land video.
Yes. True.
That was one of the Kevin Smith movies.
Yes,
You're a
no.
tracer.
Chasing Amy, go on.
Do you give them any kind of indication what you're looking for? Or do you say, like, here's the story. This person should be
This is such a good question.
6'4", 300
someone
pounds,
who's
whatever
not
the
here.
fuck.
Well, okay. When you're in the creator-owned sphere, which is most of my work, even if it's partially owned, even if the media rights are partially owned by a publisher,
Right.
it's creator-owned work, which means there would be financial benefit if I cut an artist out of character creation, but it would be considered very gauche to do so.
Yes.
So like if so everything is created, everything is shared creative credits because it's really considered.
So the
gauche
way
not
it
to
could
be.
work would be Patrick would say, Bob as the illustrator. Okay, Bob. Here's the lead character is 6'4", average build, gruff looking,
Right.
kind of this kind of Indiana Jones meets
John Goodman.
John Goodman. So give him that vest and a pack of Marlboros. I draw something and he go, nailed it. Or, you know what? Show me something else. Give me a little more of X. And then back and forth to create something.
Like you negotiate it.
Yeah.
Now, the storytelling, once you get past character creation, is where there's a couple different models of how that typically works.
So for Patience, Conviction, Revenge, I hit the artist and I sent him a reference image of Michael Gira from Swans wearing a cowboy hat. And I said, this guy, but Jewish. And he hit me back with a blonde man wearing a yarmulke. and it still worked. And I said, fuck it. That's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's the future. Things are wild. Let's do it.
Let's go. And as you write the story, there's maybe there's more detail where it's literally an artist, a writer breaking it down panel by panel. Like, first panel, this big,
Right.
this happens. Next panel,
Yeah.
And then there's the more the Marvel method, which is what they call it. Do you think that's which is more? Here's the basic idea on this page. Maybe hit these beats, and then the artist delivers something to you, and then the writer basically can mold his script to that.
Does anyone do both? Like
There's
soup to
hybrid,
nuts.
there's hybrid stuff in all.
Like I write the comic book and I also draw it.
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Are those the bigger ones?
Some of them are massive, but not so much anymore. There's an indie world. So let me put it like this: the equivalent of the basement to Coachella jump that we see some acts do.
Yeah.
The biggest sellers in the world, in the United States, I should say, because I think the biggest seller in the world is like an asterisk fucking comic from Belgium.
Correct.
And
yes, you're totally right.
The Bible.
And technically the Bible, and technically
illustrated.
Technically, if we count serialized manga, then you have. It's not. It's not an apples to apples. The point is,
serialized manga.
Dude, you should see the comic book stores in Belgium. It's wild.
Yeah, they're bookstores. They're beautiful.
They're beautiful. I can't believe. I wanted to get so many things, but they're all
they're French or German. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I can't.
But anyway, where were we?
Being
biggest writers.
Basement of Coachella.
So Basement of Coachella. There's a couple people that are indie creators, do everything themselves, and then have this crossover success where they sell. Like, I think pre-orders on, I forget her name. She's quite big right now. Her current book pre-orders were like 1 million.
1 million copies.
That's inconceivable.
Crazy.
But for some of our listeners who maybe have dipped in and out of comics, there's breakout successes like things like Scott Pilgrim. That is that's one creator top to bottom, and that person's life was changed by that
Quite
book's
radically.
success. So
like, was Stan Lee a T to B guy?
Nope.
No. He's
writer.
even on his death, he was publicly murdered for being anything but that.
Yes.
And it was very low class, and creators who did that
Super
can
low
fight me in the
class.
parking lot. But it's basically, he was quite the opposite. He would sometimes famously call artists, stay on the phone with them for 15 minutes, say, I want this, this, and this. There should be some conflict in the middle. Call me back if you got any problems. Click.
Yep.
And like, so artists.
And then write to that quite a bit.
Right. So then he would get the art back and do the dialogue for it.
So like, imagine I told you, here's the
Someone
plot.
writes the
Make sure
music,
you have
yeah.
this scene. Make
Right.
sure you have this. Make sure you have that. Go. And like, if there's people who skewer him because there was a thought that he got more credit than a lot of his co-creators.
And he did.
Yeah.
And there's a reason
did.
for that. It's because he was a tireless self-promoter.
And he was out there for 50 years doing it. And also, he was fucking prolific.
right.
And many of his co-creators were also prolific. And there was some financial impact. But as I understand, it's not like he died impoverished. But he certainly didn't have the wealth or fame
Trillions that we would assume?
that many would have assumed.
I would assume, like, after all these fucking movies and shit, that he was like close to a billionaire.
Company on the rights to everything.
DC?
Marvel.
Marvel.
But who was Marvel?
Marvel's publishing history is so wild. It's been bought and sold.
He never owned
He
Marvel?
owned it briefly.
No. He
had an ownership stake at one point, but never full.
Right. So he was always just either editor-in-chief or publisher, and then he got the presented by credit.
Yep.
And then on those Marvel movies, he's an executive credit as part of a deal, like an exit deal, partial respect thing, whatever.
I thought Marvel was his.
No. He actually, the other reason that he gets all the credit and his co-creators don't is because he navigated a very, very tricky corporate landscape in a way that I know personally I could not, and I doubt very few people could. And I'm not.
He also did it tastefully in a way where he, even when things were not great, it's like in a marriage when it's it's not like he was sleeping in the other room or sleeping on the couch. He had his own apartment 3 towns away.
Right.
Even when things were that dire, on the face of it, make mine Marvel.
Yeah.
Excelsior. Everything was cool.
Wow.
So a weird company man who...
He went from the weird company man who was the hustle, like, shit, things are bad. I guess I better do 8 jobs at once right now.
Yeah.
And be the hustle and bustle, like, nervous, get everything done guy, to face of the company, to at times where he's like a purely symbolic thing and is kind of being given the, like, yeah, no, stay over there from internal. I've never read anything about his relationship with Jim Shooter, and I would like to know what that was like.
I think he directly hired him and directly fired him.
Interesting.
Shooter, this is weird.
Yeah.
Shooter came on. Shooter was legitimately a kid. So Shooter, Jim
With
Shooter,
the Marvel
Jim Shooter
as a teen.
As a teen, Jim Shooter became the editor in chief very quickly, as like a 22-year-old,
The big boss at 22.
and
Okay.
made everybody big mad. He is a genius in the way that, like, I wouldn't compare him to like Hitler or somebody like that, but like in the way that, give me somebody who through draconian measures makes the trains run on time. I don't know who that is.
And had a singular vision that was so strong and powerful that he willed a huge level of success out of nothing, but was also and was appreciated. But at the same time, a lot of people who worked with him were like, fuck this guy.
Yeah,
He's
he's got.
kid and they hated him, or because he had it.
They hated him when he came in.
It is methodology.
He hated him. They hated him when he came in because he was 15 to 20 years younger than everybody,
right.
and had very definite ideas on how things should go. Right.
And when is this?
What is that? That's 70s Marvel before.
Late 70s.
long time ago.
Late 70s into the early mid 80s.
So
Is he still there?
No.
Hasn't been.
He's been
fired in
run out
mid-80s.
of several places. He, to his credit, no matter what anybody wants to say about him, he digs his heels in when he believes he is right. A lot of people accuse him of rewriting history. That may be true. I wasn't there, but he is a fascinating.
And he has a very clear, direct, and almost unbelievable way he pitches the history that he remembers.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if you want to say you think he's rewriting it, okay, but he just told us about the color of your shoes.
Right.
So
Yeah. I mean,
So he's either highly delusional or a skilled liar, or this is the truth.
got it.
So there was your comic book podcast for a little while, guys.
Guys, have a good night.
Mosh Madness.
Let's do it. 32 minutes in, the mosh begins.
The mosh
32
begins.
minutes in.
The mosh begins.
Well, I mean, they do like the preview shows on like CBS or whatever.
Yeah. We're not milking it as bad as those do.
Should we do, I think this would be nice on these episodes because we got one coming. We should put notes for when the talk about whatever record starts because I want to give people an easy way to reference if they're listening and want to stop and listen to the record and then listen to our conversation.
It's a cool idea.
Okay, so we'll do that. We aren't going to do that kind of stuff all the time, but we'll do that for these episodes for sure. Yes. All right. Today, part 3 of round 1.
Today.
Incendiary, Cost of Living, 2013.
Whoop!
Bitter End, Illusions of Dominance, 2015. Tough matchup to start. Downpresser, Don't Need a Reason, 2013. Up against No Tolerance, You Walk Alone, 2015. Code Orange.
Wow.
I Am King,
Oh, dramatic.
2014. Up against Detain, Capital Punishment, 2017. Harm Reduction Records.
Big Pun tribute record.
And finally, last but certainly not least, Criminal Instinct, Fever, 2014.
Fever.
Up against Angel Dust, Rock the Fuck On Forever, 2016. Let's get it on.
Let's fucking do it, my G.
Let's get it on.
Incendiary, Cost of Living. Start us off,
Can
Tom.
we end with that one?
Yeah, no, you go in while I go pee.
Yeah. And then I'll pee. And then
What the fuck? I gotta talk to a wall here?
talk to it. Go on.
I'm here. Incendiary, Cost of Living.
I mean,
What can you say?
What can
You're
you say?
welcome.
no, come on. I think, depending on the rest of the field, this may be my favorite record on in the field. The Turncoat record's up there too. The Foundation record. I'm trying to think what else.
You got a few.
There are a few. Yeah, there's got to be a few.
Product in New York.
Huh?
Would you see the whole thing? Yeah.
Once I see the bracket. I mean, I think this is great. It's funny. I hadn't listened to it in a very long time.
Yeah. This is their first proper full length.
Second.
That
Crusade.
Oh, Crusades is before this.
That they,
That's right.
some like a label, I don't remember where they were from.
Right.
Somewhere like New Hampshire, like somewhere had it out, and then Close Casket reissued it.
That's right.
So this is their second, but this is like their first like foray into like the
Coming out
national-
party?
Yes.
This is when being a product of New York became something that mattered, because before that everybody's like, yeah, we know. We're all here too. Yeah. We get it.
I think it's funny to listen to it now after hearing Thousand Mile Stare, and it's just so much more raw than you would than I remembered it. It's like one of those things. It's like it's so ingrained in my like conscious. Like I know these songs in and out, and I've seen them played 1,000 times. That it's like I don't go back and revisit this record, but it's still very, very good. Production's better on the new one. Mm-hmm. I think all the performances are better on the new one. What the hell?
More rapping on the new one.
More Patrick's getting in his.
There is
rap
certainly
thing.
more rap on the new one.
Yes. I mean, the new one's just way more of a professional record, I think.
What if he just came up to you and was like, "Hey, Pat, heard you like rap, and just punched you in the fucking face."
You know what?
The dude from Incendiary, for him talking about rapping on the record.
Yeah,
so
maybe
much.
Garone just. I mean, he does do Muay Thai. He could take you down.
He looks pretty kind
He
of
was
like
a rugby player.
Yeah, I was
He's
gonna say
tough, man.
he looks short, thick. Is that right?
He's not that short, but yeah, he's pretty thick. Yeah, he'll fuck you up.
I mean, he definitely fucked me up.
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't think telling him he raps is a fucking diss.
No, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah,
right.
thank
You
you.
know what I mean?
But yeah, I think this is a great record. This is my favorite Incendiary record. Yeah, and I think this was like the start of their kind of ascent. It was a perfect mixture because I think it was Close Casket coming into their own and Incendiary came into their own at the same time. And
Agree with
kind
that,
of
yeah.
like they built off each other.
That's a great point. This is
2013?
2013, and there's several. This is a great example. Death Wish, Triple B, Revelation, Victory. Labels have kind of mile marker records, records that basically either are symbolic of the era that it came out in, or just kind of like flag posts, or what do they call it? Tent posts?
Yeah, tent poles.
Tent poles. There we go. Tent posts. We're going camping, folks.
Yeah.
Tent pole records that kind of put the label up, and I think this one certainly is like if you had
like
to
a
pick
perfect storm.
And if you had to pick 5 Closed Casket records to date, this is probably right in that mix.
This might be number one for most people.
Yeah, this,
Quite honestly.
that Twitching Tongues record, a couple others, right?
Harm's Way and
Harm's Way, yeah. My take on Incendiary, not a band I was super familiar with, just because I think I heard them way back. Was like, oh, this is all right. Not totally my thing. Let me, and then was in and out of things. And this is like in the same way as you had law school and you were super busy. This is during a time where I was working a lot, and just like
It happens.
my favorite song off this record was "Primitive Rage."
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
really
yeah.
stuck with me. The first song makes me think a lot of 108, kind of like the noodling part over the like. Is that Zeitgeist?
Yes,
Like there's
that
that
might
like
be the-
solo.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Brennan Sounds has a Zach De La Rocha thing going on?
100%.
Discord. Now, here's something I think you guys are both much more Converge fans than me. There's certain parts on this that make me think about Converge. They're not nearly as like technical, maybe, but there's like that discordant, like there's a lot going on, and it has that this is going to fall apart energy, but it's clearly not falling apart.
Yeah.
And I said musically, it reminded me of a fusion of like the mid 90s Victory metallic hardcore,
Yes.
and then late 90s metalcore-ish stuff. And I mean, there's indecision-ish stuff here.
You
I
don't
don't think
say.
anybody
They
would
admit that.
ignore that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's, let's not spade a spade. I also think the drumming on this separates it from a lot of things. I think there's a nice variety of drumming.
He's a great drummer.
Right. It gives it a texture on what I would consider a very mid-tempo record through and through. Some really interesting shit.
He's very
going on.
tasteful. Dan's
Yeah.
a great drummer, and he plays a lot of shit that it's like, it's not just plotting. It's very he's
he
doing a
has
lot
a
of
few
shit.
things. Yeah, stuff's moving around. Yeah. So I enjoyed it. It did feel a little long for me, but that's because it's not my lane for stuff in whole. But it had a good energy, and vocally he kind of went back and forth at parts where I was literally going, yeah, if you told me this was Zach De La Rocha Lost Tracks, I could hear that. And a lot of people fuck with that real hard.
Yeah.
I like this record. I don't know if I'm in a majority or minority by saying I think that the next record they come into their own and stand out. And because to me, this is still in debt to its influences. And I think by the next record, either they pulled in more or it's less in a shadow. But this record, to me, is not them at their fullest.
What is the big change from this record to the next record? Obviously, we've mentioned production.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
Production's major. Vocally, he takes way more chances on the next one. And the band plays with greater confidence on the next one. So I get that this is the record that meant a lot to people, you know what I mean? And really cemented them as a thing to care about for many. But sonically, I just think that the next record is done with such, like I said, confidence that it's I can't defer to this one. And I know that we try to talk about things separate on their own merit. In that case, this is a very capable, as Bob said, later mid. This is a very capable 1996,
1998 record.
Yeah, 1996 to 1998 record with a youthful exuberance. So I'm not mad at it. I think I just lean heavy towards the record after this.
What I think about this record too is that and I think about it with some of the records I think it's indebted to as influences, is that even if it's not your style or your lane, there's an energy and kind of a passion behind it that you can feel. I think that's true on this record. And I think this is a very special record to some people.
Absolutely.
Like they feel like this is, we talk about it. It's a flagpole record for Closed Casket. I think it's a flagpole record for a lot of people's entry to hardcore and being into hardcore.
No question.
This record. So pretty big one.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sorry, go on.
No, did this band? This is another band from Long Island / New York.
Right.
Not the same pool of kids as Backtrack, but parallel. Kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all buddies.
Yeah, which is cool. It's kind of funny to think about that and to say... Because I don't think those two bands get talked about in the same breath because they were in different worlds, basically. But not totally,
No.
No, they could play together, but if you're not attending those shows that they would play together, then you would think, oh yes,
right.
one plays for the NYHC worshiper kids, and the other plays maybe for, you could say, the early 2000s worshiper kids, whatever.
Maybe.
You could frame it like that, or you could say, here's kind of the rough kids, here's kind of the more open access crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways you could frame it and find little differences, but almost certainly they played together or at least attended each other's shows.
I'm sure they did.
I booked them together.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. You always act like you're not a promoter.
Well, I booked. I got to put together when Indecision would play our own shows. I booked the lineup.
Yo, cheat code. Book your own fucking shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, we got this room. We can do whatever we want. So I got my friend's band Thirsty. I got Backtrack before anyone gave a shit. I got Incendiary before anyone really gave a shit.
Ground floor.
Maximum Penalty.
Ground floor.
And us.
Yeah,
Good show.
cool.
Sold out. It was great.
Yeah.
That's when you told Max Penn they could only play the demo.
I was going to say, was that the Max Penn Renaissance?
Max Pennaissance?
The Max Pennaissance? Was that right?
I don't know.
Do you remember there was one?
Yes.
There was one.
Yeah.
This might have been before.
Okay. Sick. You're really ground floor.
I know. I love
think
them
you were,
from
yeah.
the get.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Incendiary. Cool.
Yep.
Cost of Living. Next record. And we have talked about this once. If you didn't hear us talk about Bitter End, Illusions of Dominance, released on Death Wish in 2015, on our Mosh Madness The Bubble episode, go back, listen to that. But we can talk about it a little more.
Okay. It's fucking sick.
It's fucking sick.
It's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yo, I feel a weird personal victory at people being like, yeah, these later fucking Bitter End records are great. Just because, do you remember when I was the voice in the wilderness being like,
You were one of a few.
I love this record.
Yeah.
Yo, I just feel good. I hope that like our listeners are, maybe they will always love the shit, but like if they did not check it out, I hope that us being effusive about it is getting you to check it out.
It's so good.
So
It's so good. I'm one of the idiots that missed it. God fucking damn it.
I'm an OG Bitter End head, but I missed this record because I thought the cover was kind of boring, whatever kind of complaints I might have. It's faster than Guilty as Charged. It might be faster than Climate of Fear. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
It's more... It's
Different
just
lineup, right? Like, is that
some changes over the years.
So I mean, that
they-
makes a big point.
I think this record was released 9 years after Climate of Fear. I think.
Goddamn, yeah.
So this record, I picked a different standout track this time. I picked the Crushing Madness. But the other song I wanted to note, did you guys listen to the song Conversation with Death?
Yeah.
And it has a back and forth. And I think there's the I'm not always a fan of prominent second, like backup vocals. Prominent backup vocals that I think are in the voice of Death.
Very hard.
That gets you.
It was so good.
Death of the Devil always works. Always works.
That's how Daniel like picture like, all right, so in this, you're death.
You're Death.
You're literally
Here's
the
your
Grim
lines.
Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels more aggressive than most bands' first record. And
Yeah.
that says, and it feels more passionate and just more everything. And it's their third LP. Like
It's so good.
10 years into being a band.
Yeah.
Props.
Can I say my hot take
Yeah, please.
that we spoke about earlier? So it's not that it's lukewarm to you guys.
Okay, but it might burn the listeners.
in the field
Eyebrows
of
singed off.
64, Daniel, best vocalist in the whole thing.
Yeah, I think that is okay. That might singe some eyebrows, but if people
If
think
you really
about it,
fucking think about it, dude.
yeah. If they think about it, he might be right there.
It's one of those things where you think about a heavyweight fighter and it's like, was Evander Holyfield the best boxer of the 90s?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, who else?
Are
Mike
you gonna
Tyson
say
was hot
Tyson?
for a minute.
Tyson was getting his ass beat by him.
He got beat by
Tyson,
91.
You know what? Tyson in 86, I'm taking over Evander in
Oh, of
92.
course, yeah.
But Evander Holyfield, he was beating some ass.
Yeah.
He wasn't anyone's favorite boxer.
No, nobody's favorite boxer.
But he was fucking good.
Yeah. But I think Daniel's voice, he's a lyricist who writes rhymes.
Yep.
And they're not corny.
Well,
He's
That
gotten
is so
better
tough
as a
to do.
lyricist and vocalist over the years. And I don't think he settled into a groove. I think he just kept getting better.
yeah.
I think this record's fucking awesome and highly slept on. I feel like they didn't play as much, some
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
for
that
All
sure.
the things that
too.
people
For sure.
reasons to not.
But this, like, the recording's cool. His vocals got even harsher.
Great song titles, I put as
Yes.
a note.
No,
Great
for
song
sure.
titles. All the song titles could be other bands' name or album title.
yeah.
So if you're looking for a band name, go look at that record. Listen to the song. If it's a good
my next
song,
band's gonna be called Realm of Despair because that was my jam on this
There
one.
you go.
it was the other. I said
Reaction.
Crushing Death, Conversation with Death, Crushing Madness, The Crushing Madness. That's a crust band's waiting to happen right
Yeah.
now. Conversation with Death, it's all good. Yeah, this record slept on. This is one of the big revelations from this tournament for us, doing the thing that we wanted this thing to do, which was exposing us to great records we missed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of records out there. You
lot,
gotta
man.
miss a couple.
So yeah,
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Now you get to catch up a
something
little bit.
gets through the net each time.
Incendiary, Cost of Living, up against Bitter End, Illusions of Dominance. I'm going Bitter End.
As am I.
I'm gonna say that halftime, Incendiary's leading by like 18 points.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is gonna be a runaway.
Yeah.
Frank Reich runs on the field.
Yeah, exactly. And fucking Bitter Ends, now they're chucking up threes and they're going in.
Oh, shit.
They're going in.
Close. It's getting close.
And they're
Steph
down
Curry
by
with the
one.
shot.
Buzzer.
They're down by 1, 3 seconds left. They inbound the ball. Daniel Rosen takes a jumper from the corner.
Contested.
Contested. In and out.
Oh.
And Incendiary wins, but it's fucking close.
It's like
Heartbreaker
it's
for
like
the Bitter End fans.
is it the 80? I think it's the 87 finals or it's the 85. It's Magic hits a mini jump hook to put the Lakers up.
Yeah.
And it was like a famous last minute shot. what people forget is Bird had a shot from the corner, and it just rims out.
Yeah.
And it's that was the big thing. Might have been the difference. So, guess what? Our votes don't count, though.
Yeah.
Your vote does.
Yeah.
So go listen to both these records.
Yeah.
They're both
Bitter end won in the most academic way because our votes don't matter.
Yes, exactly. Thanks for not winning, anyone.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Downpresser, Don't Need a Reason, released in 2013 on 6131 Records. Up against No Tolerance, You Walk Alone, released in 2015 on Painkiller Records. Let's start with Downpresser.
I have no relationship to this band outside of Taylor Young telling me consistently that this is the best band in the world for the last 7 years. I have no relationship. Zero.
You weren't in on the Brass Monkey demo?
I was not. No.
You don't know the intro?
No.
The Downpressor intro is
I have
world
no
famous.
relationship
Modern
with this
classic,
band.
as they say.
No relation. I do actually think that their album art is very pro looking. It's good.
that's a
You know
good
what I mean?
yeah.
Okay, you want to go deep cut real
Bosky
quick?
did that.
Yeah, please.
Have you seen their first album, art, Perverted Justice, released on Street Cleaner Records?
Don't know if I have.
Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. The backstory on this is that this was released by Todd.
Todd Jones of Nails.
Of Nails and such. And it's my art concept.
Oh, I have seen this. Yes.
Which is based on
Yeah.
a Incredible Hulk, Secret Wars Marvel Comics, where all the heroes are trapped underground, and standing in the middle is the Hulk holding up X amount of tons of rock above him. And this was to be pivoted to be one kid holding up the entire world. Visually, I like the execution of it. So cool. I do like their art on the Don't Need a Reason record as well. So,
It's pretty hard.
yeah, very hard.
I have, not only do I not have a relationship previously, I just got to be honest and say I don't have a relationship now. Like this record did not, I thought it was all competently done. I thought it was like capable players doing a thing well that just did not strike my heart in any real way.
Okay.
And I don't know what the reason is. Technically, this is a step to the left of what I would like anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's there's a certain drumming element that is just not for my ears, but I can't dial in why this doesn't.
Do anything for it.
Yeah, can't figure it out.
Highlight for me is the track Mercy on Judgment. Really liked it. Tasteful double bass. I like that.
I mean, you might have just dialed in why I don't like a thing. Go on.
What, the double bass?
Yeah.
Well, this is the part. I'm not typically a fan. It has to be really tasteful double bass. I thought it was proficient. There's a unique gruffiness in the vocals, and I said gruffiness, not gruffness, because he isn't always gruff. It's like, gravelly talking
very
with
gravelly.
a little bit of like gravelly and raspy, so you can use every trope word to describe.
Yeah.
It sounds like a beard is singing at you, basically. Good tempo changes, not all hard music, not all heavy. There's some faster parts
Yes.
they lean into.
There's definitely some faster parts.
Right. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the tempo changes. This is the first time I sat with this record. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
I thought it was really solid. It makes me curious they have a new record coming this year.
On a certain label that we're friends with.
Yes. Okay.
Thought so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Sorry.
no, it's okay.
Let's just say, even if
We have
we're
a lot
wrong-
of friends.
Even if we're wrong, let's just say we have a lot of friends.
Yeah, got a lot of friends. And well-wishers. Anyways, I like the record. I probably will go back and listen to some tracks. You liked it too.
I liked it. And we were trying to describe it. It's like, it's a hardcore record. It's not a metalcore record. It's
That's
not
true.
It's
Some hardness, some heaviness, but not a metalcore record.
right.
Some metal parts.
If someone's like, tell me what it sounds like, it doesn't sound just like this, but it's in the Buried Alive lane. That it's fast and heavy and moshy, but still a hardcore record in and of itself.
I think that was a good
I
comparison.
thought that's what it kind of. I don't know if I don't know if it necessarily does. I think the drums kind of struck me as Buried Alive ish. Kind of choppy. But yeah, it was another record that I was like, I know the band and like I've seen them, but like I never listened to the record. I was happily surprised.
This band started at around the same time as, they were kind of peers with the band Violation from California,
Right.
who I think has gained traction in their posthumous state.
Yeah. They
who were
Bay
great.
Area?
No, they were
Violation.
from Oxnard / Santa Barbara,
Oh, wow,
Carpinteria.
okay.
and they were really good. And DOWNPRESSER were guys from Santa Barbara, and then kind of, I think they've all migrated to LA as one does.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had a unique hardness and heaviness while still kind of maintaining some speed,
Right.
Like,
I think hardcore kids like them.
Oh yeah.
While metalcore kids may not even know about them.
And that's the part. I think there's an ability for them, and on this record, I think it doesn't get too fast. Like, was it too fast for you?
Yeah.
It was too fast for you. Okay.
On occasion, yes.
On occasion.
I mean, like I said, I think
I think that there's an openness for kids who like even heavier or more ignorant stuff to get down with this. Even if fast things, if this could be the only thing with fast parts they listen to.
Oh, I'm sure that's actually the case for a lot of kids in California.
Like a kid who likes World of Pain could fuck with DOWNPRESSER.
Yeah. I mean,
even if they don't know who Breakdown is.
Because it's undeniably fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no getting around that.
And on the right kind of heavy label.
Yep.
I think have kids that may not have been privy to their music before may be, going forward.
Very true. This is a weird head-to-head that we're doing right now because we're about to jump into No Tolerance, who you guys could tell me more about. This was the hardest matchup for me so far. Because
in a negative way.
Yeah, because just neither of these records resonated with me. I listened to them both and thought these are capable records done by people that know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I just did not mosh my living room.
Okay. Anything else on DOWNPRESSER before we move?
No,
okay.
I'm good.
So with that, let's pivot to No Tolerance, You Walk Alone. You want to start us?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's confront worship to me.
Yep.
Confront
2015 Painkiller Records, yeah.
To me, it sounds like confront and some straight ahead mixed in. It's cool. I don't know if I'd ever listen to it again.
To me, I pick up on a lot of Brotherhood. I actually hear more AF on this record. I hear some Victim in Pain and Liberty and Justice style stuff because their tempo slows down. On their 7-inch and demo, they're just painfully fast. And the confront thing's there too. But it was kind of like always confront and Brotherhood. That definitely
is so fucking confront.
Yeah. There's a bit of a blastiness to their speed that I think puts them in where No Tolerance finds themselves with more fans who and these are guys who were in Mind Eraser,
right?
Soul Swallower, and they're doing other band, Innumerable Forms is the singer's other band he sings in, So this is a band who finds a lot of interest in worlds that aren't all straight edge hardcore. There's nods at Youth of Today.
Yes.
I like it. I don't like the production.
No,
I actually think the production really doesn't work for this record. And it has always been my gripe with this record, and I put it on the shelf for a long time.
Do you think it's not...
I think it should be dirtier.
That's what... Okay, so it's not a perfectly produced record, and it's not a fucking hardcore produced record. It's somewhere in between, and it just...
Oh, see, to me, that's interesting because...
You're going the other way.
Yeah, I wouldn't need rougher out of this. Yeah. I would need... I would need more present. Like, to me, I could put this on at a coffee shop, and that's not a thing I should be able to do for a hardcore record. I don't feel like this doesn't hurt to listen to, nor does it groove with you. So I don't know.
Doesn't move the needle at all.
Doesn't move the needle for me.
Yeah.
And I honestly, after listening to it and being with a kind of a concerned ear, I was thinking, they're doing a lot right. So
Absolutely.
Why don't I love this? You know what I mean? And the production is a big part of what I
like the drums. I like, even though it's kind of low in the mix sometimes, there's cool skank parts. There's cool parts on this. It just didn't really inspire me, which is a funny thing to say. I like a lot of the records that this group of people have done, and it just felt odd. The production on this just didn't hit me. I would have liked them, and maybe your take was right. It's kind of fall in the middle where if it was way dirtier, I would have been like, oh, this is cool and raw.
Right.
Or if it was way cleaner, maybe stuff stands out more brightly. But it whelmed me, This isn't something you would have been listening to anyways, PK. But,
No.
But of this style, how does it hit you? Something that's more. I mean, this isn't Youth Crew.
No,
but it's
not.
Fast, straight edge hardcore.
Yeah. So this can win me much quicker than Youth Crew, for example. Right?
Sure,
We can both characterize neither as what I reach for, but
with something going faster and more aggressive, you will take over.
Oh, yeah.
A Youth Crew tempo.
Particularly if something has like actual flow to it, you know what I mean? And which is probably my beef with sorry, everybody, we're going to editorialize for a second. Definitely my beef with Power Violence, definitely my beef with Youth Crew. And when people bring it up as a beef with kind of like chaotic music, I totally hear them on that, although I sometimes that stuff can get right through my...
Sometimes you can, you let it through.
But if you are... Like if we look at something like Minor Threat, those songs flow beautifully. You know what I mean? And some people would chalk that up to maybe a pop sensibility because those kids were pulling from ba 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 ba. I don't think that's true. I think that that might exist in a very naturally occurring state. I think those songs flow, and I'm not mad at people whose aesthetic choice is to not flow at all. I'm not mad at it. It's just not what I'm going to reach for. You know what I mean? Most of the time. So. This stuff maybe doesn't flow enough for it to have ever been a favorite.
Yeah, I don't feel the flow on this record very much.
But
the best the best Power Violence or any of that stuff are records that flow, and they do that with some tempo changes. Because as we talked about with other records that are really far from something like Power Violence or Grind, like Code Orange, if you need some tempo changes on a Power Violence record so you can distinguish songs.
Yeah.
You can hear distinct pieces, and those things can be very catchy, but you need to have something that's allowing you to know this is not part of the same song.
Right. And this, honestly, a record past this, depending on what direction they wanted to go in, with production that actually pleased my ears in any fucking way, could be something, but this just wasn't for me.
Okay. All right. And to say good things, I do... I actually like the cover of this record. I think it's a cool looking record. And this is something more in my lane. And I actually like their demo and 7-inch a lot more than this. So, this isn't dismissal of the band outright. It's just this didn't hit me the way I would have liked it to. All right. DOWNPRESSER.
So sounds like DOWNPRESSER won for you and I.
Yep.
Tom, what you got?
Well, it's funny. Going into it, I was like, even though everyone thinks I'm like the metalcore guy,
Yeah.
I like a lot of hardcore.
Yeah.
I think that's apparent.
But going into it, I was like, I'll probably like this No Tolerance record more than DOWNPRESSER, just because I like fucking Youth of Today. I like that sort of shit.
Yep.
And I'm happy to say that I actually I preferred the DOWNPRESSER record as well.
Okay.
And my favorite track on that No Tolerance record is Never the Same. That one stood out for me. So
Gotcha.
All right.
Your jaw's freaking me out, bro.
You're popping it?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very loud.
Like, dude, loud. Like,
it'll catch on the mic.
Really?
Dude. It's not doing that.
You can keep going. I don't care. But
Freaks me out.
I wish I could pop the other side. I can only pop
Can't
one.
do that
I'll
one?
punch you.
Oh,
I
Can only pop one side.
Yeah, that's not really a good sign. Let's watch out for your TBJ stuff. All right. Code Orange, I Am King, 2014, Death Wish Inc. Detain, Capital Punishment, 2017.
Is Pat allowed
Harm
to...
Reduction Records.
You're
I was
going to
gonna
get
say,
a call either way you vote. So
no, he's
choose
gonna
wisely.
He knows which one's more painful. So
Do I have to recuse myself here?
Yes.
feel the pain. Harm Reduction Records. So we're putting that out there. You are the CEO of Harm Reduction Records.
Yeah, that's true.
However,
Dr. Dre.
Do you know who the co-CEO, or at least at one point was, of Harm Reduction Records?
I'm going to say it's Jamie Code Orange.
That is correct.
right.
Jamie and I started.
So
that
this
shit.
is a
Why'd
cousin.
you pick Harm
This is
Reduction as a
cousin.
name? Two straight edge dudes picking Harm Reduction.
You know what? It kind of had like an I Hate God sort of feel to it, so I liked it.
I mean, it's a treatment modality.
Yeah,
So this is the fight at the family reunion. And it's not brother sister, but it's maybe like a battle between
Like a cousin
like that one cousin you saw once and squirted you in the eye when you were 6 and he was 8, and now you see him, you're like, he still looks like a fucking turd.
Yeah, he ain't shit.
Like, now I'm big. I'm going to punch this dude in his fucking mouth.
So let's start with Code Orange, I Am
Fist
King.
fight. Fist fight.
Old school knife fight.
I still think I like Forever better, and Forever's where they, for me, like congeal and all that. But I listen to this. There's some fucking heavy and hard tracks on this fucking record. I remember being impressed at the time, and I think it's only because that band continues to push themselves that maybe I am looking forward to the next thing each time and not going back as much as I should, this is a pretty fucking good record.
Very good record.
Yeah?
And live, there's very few bands in my elder years
Yep.
that you're watching and you're like, all right, this is frightening.
Yeah, it's menacing.
And I feel like this is menacing. Like My World, the song is.
Oh, yeah.
My World. Yeah, it's why I'm
yeah.
saying My World. Song.
I fucking,
that song is fucking like 4 minutes or whatever the fuck it is of just fuck.
I love Menace, man.
And it's menacing.
I like
and
the punk
dude,
band The Menace.
There you go.
The dude from Lifeless is on it. Like it's just really fucking like it's like, oh, this could go terribly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
someone could get carried out.
Sure.
I love the song I Am King. I
Yep.
think that's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite track is Unclean Spirit. If
Interesting.
you guys are familiar.
Yeah.
Is that the slower one?
No, I think it has a bunch going on. I think it's basically a showcase song. It's in the first half of the record.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also like the song Starve, which is weird. But like there was one part of it that I was like, I liked it a lot. It kind of is a really odd sounding song. This is not a record I really like.
Right.
I have deep dive listened to this before. I tried to give it virgin ears because
You've given it a fair shake. I have
this
to say
band, this record, when it came out in 2014, everyone repped it. Literally everyone was behind this record. People who you wouldn't have expected to like something that was like this, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to this because a lot of people who like stuff much more in common with my taste
Are into
have
this.
really
Yeah.
like, and are not like, yeah, that's cool, but are like, no, this is it.
The game changer. Yeah.
And I was so like oddly like what this is, and what I really think it boils down to is that people were all in for the live experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we're like, these guys are cool, they're nice, you know. So they had all the right, not the right people, but they had everyone excited for them,
And
especially
rooting for
because they're
them.
live. Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
And behind the record, and that's in a positive way. The things I would say about the record, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's brooding. There's no light. This is a
Very, yeah.
this is like you guys use the word menacing. It's a dark record. It's more so than their prior effort, Love Is Love, or Forever. I feel like it's a fully formed, like the flow might flow better than Forever unless you really go with Forever. They were trying to do something different, which I think they were. And with Love Is Love, I think they were doing something very different. So it's got more cohesion than either of those records. Like I don't think you would, other than a couple tracks, you should, if you're listening to this, you're probably listening to the whole album.
Right. And there's songs and not parts.
Yeah.
They don't run into each other. You're kind of like, what part? What song is this
It's
part
flowing.
from? Yeah.
Right. Is this a mosh metal / metalcore hybrid?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
the way I took it, because it's got some smart parts. It's got a lot of thought to what they're doing and how they're putting it together. But then there's just some blisteringly like heavy shit going on. The song Dreams in Inertia, are you guys familiar with that? That's the more like the prettier.
Yeah.
Structurally, that song I said, and I don't say this in a diss way, has more in common with like a hum song than like a hardcore
I
song.
think they'd be fucking stoked on that.
Right. And I mean, I think that's the interesting part is, as I talked about when we discussed Love Is Love, I think if you're looking at this band in an objective way, you can say this was a left turn.
Sure.
But if you listen to Love Is Love and then listen to this, Forever, I think, gives you so much more context when you listen to all three in a row. Love Is Love,
Right,
they're
right.
figuring things out, working through things, but also creating at the same time. But there are heavy parts, and there's some darker parts, and some kind of ugly parts to it. And they got real ugly with I Am King, but also really hard. Like, Forever is probably a more grotesque sounding record, but I Am King is a really dark, brooding kind of record. Lyrically, I can't make much out, and I haven't dove that hard into lyrics. But you know, there's a consistency to the records if you want to listen to them that you can find.
It's a cool trilogy. It makes sense together.
What I'm wondering, I think what's going to happen, who knows? I think that Love Is Love is going to end up being the prequel. Is going to end up being the not Solo. It's going to be the Rogue One. It's going to end up being the Rogue One,
And this next record
that's
will
going to be
be-
that's going to be the Return of the Jedi.
That's kind of what I suspect.
And
I
this
think-
is Empire Strikes Back.
This is Empire Strikes Back.
This is
No, this is New Hope.
This is New Hope. So this is New
Got
Hope.
it.
And Forever, Forever could be Empire, yeah. So while this is not really my style, I think you can't deny we got asked, and we'll dive on this on a mailbag, the difference between hard and heavy. And in an email response, I gave a few easy examples. Mm-hmm. This is an example where it's way heavier than hard, but there's certainly hard elements. You know?
Right. Like Agnostic Front is hard
Yes.
and not heavy.
Right. I said that,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, they're heavy, but not like
Corrosion of
this.
Conformity, later records are heavy, but not particularly hard. They're like Age of Quarrel is both a heavy and hard record, but more hard than heavy.
yeah.
And then they flip it when you get to Alpha Omega.
Yeah.
It's more heavy than hard.
Yep.
This is more heavy than hard, but it's just ugly. Also, when they do fast stuff, it's great. I like it. I think even on my first listen, I was like, there's two parts I liked, and it was one where Jamie has a cool gallop beat.
I was gonna say I don't like anything super fast. I like most gallops. You know
When
what I
he,
mean?
but you know, if you don't catch the gallop right, or you're more of a strictly slow or a strictly fast. If you're an extreme drummer, your gallop might suck.
True.
Yeah,
He does a good gallop beat. So there you go. I Am King. Anything else on this? What did you think when this record came out?
I was very impressed.
Because you
you
knew
know
these
him at
guys
the
a little
time?
bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a little bit. And I was
You met them because you wanted one of the jerseys, right?
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Can we get one of those little P cashless customs?
I mean, I'm sure we can.
let's work on that.
Somebody listening works at the mall, but
Or a print shop or something.
I was very impressed. I have gone on record. I don't need the Dreams and Inertia songs from them.
Right.
I would love it if all of the songs were gallop into abusively heavy part, back into gallop, weird part, gallop. You know what I mean? Like that would please me. Tom, I think, pointed out that sorry to steal your line
my
here.
thunder, baby.
That these things, as maybe counterintuitive as this sounds, these might be out. This might be an album band in the respect that,
Which is a fucking rare take from your ass.
yeah, for sure.
But
In the respect that the complaints that people have about this band and these albums is, oh, these parts are disjointed. You know what I mean? Oh, these songs, they feel like somebody is playing Mad Libs with fucking guitar parts, you know? And that doesn't appeal to everybody. But we were discussing before, and Tom rightfully pointed out, if you listen to it as an album, they do feel like suites. They do feel like short stories as part of a larger whole.
yeah, chapters. Sure,
chapters.
yeah.
And it kind of, I don't know. I think that's a
I think
nice line
that's
to
said
see it
on
through.
this record for sure. I really do believe what I said during the Love is Love thing, where I think Love is Love feels much more disjointed than I Am King. Forever feels more disjointed than I Am King, though I think there's some choices there, and that makes me very curious what the next record will be like, especially with some of these nods that we're seeing on their new EP.
Yeah.
And it's like we've isolated I Am King, so now we can just kind of conjecture. Because I think both of you picked the Code Orange EP from last year in your top list. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good sign for them of what's to come. I'm curious how they take the elements of what Forever was doing and slurry that into what they do next. Because I think that's sort of what happened with Love is Love, is that they probably cut away some of the things that they weren't thrilling them anymore.
Yeah.
And dove head first 1,000-fold into the things that they wanted to do. And I think that plays out really well with I Am King, is that it's 1,000% what they wanted to go for, and they went all in on it.
Also, what little I know of this band's writing process, it's not purely intuitive. It's they write the songs, they demo the songs, and they scrutinize the fucking hell out of the songs.
Right.
And they break them down and bring them back.
Yeah, and edit from there, make it RoboCop, whatever the fuck they're doing. And that's
part cop, part boat, part man.
I think you can hear that.
I think you can. I think
You know, like
But it's interesting to me because that's not how typically I've written anything.
It reminds me. Do you ever watch Some Kind of Monster with Metallica?
Yes.
You know how like I'm not saying that these men.
They're not some kind of monster.
No, but like watching that and thinking of my own experiences, but watching them being like,
It's kind of stock.
yeah, but even not even that, but just kind of like we're just gonna write like I'm gonna play this riff for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And then we're going to take 34 seconds of that and make that. They like Frankensteined a record rather than being like, we got in the room, we wrote a song. No, it's like James wrote this riff.
Yeah.
And then Kirk wrote a riff in a week later and we appended it to that. There's no organic part. Like it's just kind of.
But you're saying that basically a lot of times they'll be distilled. They took things and concentrated it into its essence and then put those concentrations together.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, plenty of bands do this, but not a lot of bands in our sphere do this. I don't think that they're.
Fuck yeah! There's tons of Guitar Center bands that don't make it past a 3-song thing because they just ate each other alive about it.
Sure, exactly. It actually takes a lot of team communication, but this is like. You know, I work with editors for my job. This is an editor's dream, somebody that's willing to like, and these people.
I think that's a good challenge to you with self-defense is to do the highly critical EP. Where it's literally you guys picking it and seeing what ends up as part of a thought experiment. Like what happens if we crush ourselves into this hardened nut?
They're trying this now and I'm humoring it. I don't love that process.
Are you just waiting for the part that's on you? Because that's going to be the scary part.
No, I'll crush whatever I do. But like, but I don't. That's not how I
solo acting.
Big Dick McCheese over here. He has one cool song on a Drug Church record, and all of a sudden he's fucking Jiminy Cricket. All right, Tiny Tim over here.
That's it's part of the reason that I'm fascinated by this stuff is because I don't understand writing in this.
I think it's painful, fascinating because as someone who's been the first time I was at university, and I got a work that I thought was good. I felt good about it. Handed back to me, and the entire thing was red pen.
Oh,
I was like, motherfucker, what's this fucker know? But fuck red pen, man. But it was a good
comes
process.
out of my mouth all the time.
Yeah.
Is what does this motherfucker know?
Yeah, right. But it is a good process. So, but to put yourself through it in such a painful way, that's why I say doing it as a thought experiment for like a singular thing is interesting to put yourself through. But bless up if you do it for everything you do. That's crazy. All right, so let's make a choice here. Oh, no, we don't. A detain capital punishment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's it. No. Detain capital punishment, 2017.
Tom, you had an interesting take.
Let's go.
It reminds me of Latter-day Earth Crisis.
Okay.
The Earth Crisis return records.
The reunion records. That might be vocally what I want to use as a reference point.
And the music is kind of like, we got some bounce. It wasn't as straight ignorant as I was expecting.
No, these guys can play and they can rap.
No. I mean, but I don't even think like ignorant means like you can't play. It's just kind of like I was expecting just like jun, 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 and it's not.
No.
It's a lot of fucking. I mean, Earth Crisis is scum metal at the end.
Yeah.
This is scum metal.
Yeah, there's some imprints of scum metal all over.
You know what I mean?
This.
And not in a bad way.
No.
Like, I feel like those Earth Crisis
They'll
records,
own this.
The comeback Earth Crisis records were not embarrassing.
No, the first one back's fucking hot.
But I think that's the vibe I kind of got. This wasn't as beat down, bulldoze, cold as life fucking worship that I was expecting. It actually sounds like a fucking Earth Crisis record to me.
I went and listened to Cold as Life because I really like early Cold as Life. All their demos are very negative approach adjacent, actually. Yeah. And even Born to Land Hard, I was like, oh, this is much faster than I remember.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of dig further to get to the chunkier parts, but go ahead.
See, I don't necessarily hear Later-day Earth Crisis, though in the broader sense, is scum metal a definitive influence on both of these fucking efforts?
Bands, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
how would you describe this? Like if you had to be like, oh, I'm just putting this band out on my label. What give me like, you know how like back in the day, like Back to Basics would be like cross Marauder with
you want me-
Promise Ring, like, or whatever the fuck. Like,
Okay, so you want
Give
me
us
to-
the back to basics sticker.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I was doing the casual conversation one where I would say these dudes love Michigan stuff, but can write like very capable metal leads, so
What's
they don't
Michigan
play that.
stuff?
My first note was I love when bands feel congruous with where they're from. Where it feels, throw me onto the fucking Magellan part here, but I love that. I'm like, yeah, this feels like Michigan.
Does it?
Yeah,
I don't hear it.
It's ugly. It's a little bit rhythmic, like, you know, it's got a little
it's
bit
got
of
bounce.
bounce, like urban without it fucking having some sort of weird connotation. But like cities have rhythm, and this feels like Detroit steel.
Yeah, I mean, this is Motown adjacent.
This is very, very like Mackinac kind of feel to it, you know.
You know,
Maybe
they're,
interlocking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the text.
Like
you know
Auburn
we're not
Hills.
from Detroit.
I love the
Right
Auburn
here.
You
Hills.
know we're not from Detroit.
We're from here, from
Yeah,
Ann Arbor.
we're from here on the
The
glove.
mitt.
Oh, it's the mitt, not the glove.
Mitt, the mitt, man. Think of the Arby's logo.
Yeah.
Did you know the Arby's logo was a mitt?
I don't know if I can ID the
I
Arby's.
took the
logo.
Arby's.
It was
I
a
want a
cowboy
picture.
hat.
Yes.
It's a mitt on a cowboy hat.
What? Hold on.
What
I
about
got
the
it.
hamburger helper? All right, I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah, please.
I actually like this record more than I was expecting it to.
Okay.
It wasn't as ignorant. So, all right, so give me, I want from you
Yeah.
the back to basics cross blank wit blank. And I want you to, you're in an elevator with a friend. Give me the elevator pitch and give me the back to basics.
It is a cowboy hat, but see the mitt on the top?
Like a
Yeah,
oven mitt?
oven mitt. Yeah.
Like they're grabbing. They're grabbing
is
some
that,
hotness.
is that acknowledged or is that something you're reading into?
I think it's acknowledged. I don't remember.
You ever seen
I follow
FedEx?
the Nihilist Arby's Twitter, which is quite
Amazing.
good. Yeah. Eat Arbyes. Listen to Axe Grunt. Eat Arby's.
Okay, so I would
getting
throw
beat
stuff
the
like
fuck
Cold
Arby's
as
right
Life
now.
in there. You know what I mean? Unashamed. But I would say, you know, this is being played by 25-year-olds. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
think about everything that, even if they were attempting to be classicists of some types, you know what I mean? Like there's still modern influences are going to come in. And
Yes.
in this case, I would say those modern influences are, I don't know, what's some very, like, this is not a diss. What's some straightforward heavy music of the last 10 years? You know what I mean?
I mean, Meshuggah. I don't
I'd
know.
have to, no, that's, see, but that's too complex. I'm
Yeah,
saying
you're
like
right. You're right, you're right.
straightforward, like, I'd have to think about it, honestly. But
Like a Jesus piece kind of stuff?
you know what?
I mean, they were Jason. They weren't influenced by
They
them,
weren't
but
influenced.
like that idea.
But if
You
I had
know,
to sell it to somebody,
well.
maybe I'd say that. You know what I mean?
It's not deathcore, but
No.
it has a heaviness that is not far from that, because when I listened to Cold as Life, I was like, okay, this isn't it totally. Let me listen to Biohazard. I was like, this feels very post Biohazard. I'm like, no, Biohazard's much faster than this and less stompy. This is like dun dun dun. It's the beatdown ish, but not. But it's like
Bulldog,
it's like not.
See, that's-
it's
see, that's-
modern beatdown meets hardcore.
Hold on. Let's do a quick mental experiment.
Please.
I'm going to Wikipedia.
I couldn't believe how fast Biohazard was when I was listening to those songs in comparison, because I did it side by side with.
What record?
I listened to
Urban Discipline?
Urban Discipline,
That's pretty
and
fast.
then what's the one after that? State of the
State
World.
of the World Address.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yes, and I listened to
That's a-
parts on
that's
both of
a-
those. Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
because I'm not a Biohazard head, so I was like, it's got to be, if it's reminding me of Biohazard, it would be one of these like
No.
5 to 8 songs, and it wasn't. I was like, okay,
Because
what the fuck
Biohazard
am I
has
thinking of?
bounce parts, but they definitely have fucking fast.
You know what? It reminds me. Some of the chunkiness reminds me of shit like Fury of 5.
So,
Like,
so here's what's interesting.
you know,
I think that they would love to hear that
I'm
a
sure they
lot, but I don't necessarily.
Production's cleaner and-
yeah, I don't necessarily hear that, and I'm looking for, because it's funny. I almost said it to make them happy, but I don't necessarily.
no,
hear that.
I think I do hear a little bit of that, because I think that the renaissance of Fury of 5, along with that kind of shit, hits it.
Yeah. You know what? Sorry, I'm doing the Wikipedia on heavy hardcore, and it is a gas. I like it very much. Oh, it actually addresses the vagueness of the term.
Yeah,
Interesting.
interesting.
Who wrote this one? Shout out a listener who
Read it.
doubtlessly fucking wrote this. Heavy hardcore bands tend to often get labeled simply hardcore, making hardcore a vague term because the term hardcore is also used for traditional hardcore punk, a genre played by bands like Minor Threat and Bad Brains. Let's see. Then there's
Should we call it heavycore? Is that the move? Like, are we gonna get there?
Then there's it cites an interview with Alex Dunn of hardcore punk band Crime and Stereo, and that seems a little incongruent for the fucking wiki
Heavy
on the heavy
hardcore.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Why not? We go to the source. Alex Dunn from pop punk Jace band Crime and Stereo, and that's not a diss. I like a couple of those.
Nice kids.
Good guys, super
Nice
polite.
kids. They're like his age.
They're probably older than me. Yeah,
Let's see.
Wonderful guys.
Okay, so hold on.
but I wouldn't go to him for his comment on Bulldoze.
No.
Okay, so the bulldoze thing is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody by
Because they have
nature goes
because beat down. Yeah.
yeah.
Ain't nothing but a beat down.
So
right?
I think we've talked about. Has anybody listened to Death Before Dishonor recently? Because
And Death Before Dishonor, not the Mike Judge Death Before Dishonor. No.
Because I couldn't.
Playing with Madball and Blind Justice at the Shore, probably around when this comes out.
Fuck it, I quit.
Okay, because I couldn't honestly ID that. Like in my head, I don't know
What Death Before Dishonor?
Yeah.
Faster than you would think, actually.
Okay, God. Okay, let's go through it.
That's Death Threat of Jace.
Okay.
Death
Yes.
Before Dishonor to me.
So
It's not, yes. Yeah.
So let's be quick. This is not Victory. Unless you count Hatebreed. Unless you count some
There's
Hatebreed.
some
Is this
Hatebreed,
like
but it's more
Abacus?
chunky. No.
Is this
'cause they
Century
didn't-
Mead?
No.
I think, honestly, it sucks because I don't want to say it's Acacia Strain. It's not Acacia Strain.
Oh no, I don't hear
No,
that.
it's not
I-
that.
It's
I- I
not,
don't
but
hear
it's
that.
it's when you listen to it, it is very heavy, but it's more simplified heavy, like the Fury of Fives of the world. You know, I really think that Fury of Five is actually a decent reference point for it, but then with some of the spirit and bounce of more hardcore flavor, like it's tough.
Wow.
This is a tough band for a band you put out.
I'm now clicking through this. Okay, so I'm very clear. This has nothing at all to do with Detain. Okay.
Yes.
I just clicked on Rate Your Music Beatdown. I don't know what Rate Your Music is, but
It's like Rate Your Teacher.
but it lists neglect.
site.
It lists neglect. I'm kind
Okay.
I'm
All
with,
right.
I'm with
All right.
that.
Yep.
I'm with that actually. Of course, Bulldoze is in there.
I don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't hear that either.
Well, those is way more hardcore than.
Way
No,
faster,
I
like-
agree. I'm talking about the list.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
sure,
the list.
sure.
But then it gets down to Blue Eyed Devils, right? Who I was like, that's a
Oh, it's a white power band.
that's a white power band. And then I click on it, and so I don't know anything about this website, Rate Your Music, but this is featured on two people's lists,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm clicking on the one by Saren. That's the username.
Okay.
A Fascist Guide to Nationalistic Metal.
All right.
I just did the click through. What do we got?
Yeah, we need to throw your computer away now. So
Yeah, you're on a list of some sort. You definitely have
he's
a
been on
file.
that list.
That's
Like,
true.
the fuck.
You have a file now.
This person has some strong feelings.
okay.
So maybe we won't give that
over
person
that
his
part.
platform.
This person,
All right. So, anyways,
Email.
Detain.
Tell him to email Joe Rogan. He can go on there.
That's Saddam518@gmail.com.
God.
So, Detain, to me, I hear some Fury of Five style. It's chunky, it's short, it's brisk. There's some parts. Their streams are wild.
respectable. Yeah, really respectable.
I mean, smoking self-defense in
Yeah,
some ways.
really respectable.
Really impressive. My favorite song was The Lord's Prayer. I kind of like the bounciness there.
Yeah.
I think vocally he does some really cool stuff.
Scum,
Vocals are burly,
but intelligible.
but intelligible, and just they got that deep octave.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like when a band and their origin plays feel congruent. So big ups to Grand Rapids hardcore.
There you go.
Where are they actually from?
It is
Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah, it's Lake Minnetonka. It's on the
remember when,
shores
when
of
we
Lake
first started?
Minnetonka.
Cleanse yourself in the lake of. When we first started, that was like the meme. Remember?
Yes.
That was a good meme. We
Yeah,
did.
It was a good meme.
Yeah.
Someone else made it. Right? Like Detain was like from a different.
I made
city.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. The Detain's all over the map.
yeah.
Behind
It
the
went quite
curtains.
viral.
That
So
was
yeah.
well done.
Behind the
I
curtain.
thought it was so viral. I didn't realize he made
It's
it.
all good. I like that.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. It's Grand Rapids.
Is it Grand Rapids?
I'm pretty sure. I forget now.
Ann Arbor? No, it's not Ann Arbor.
No, I
It's-
think
I think it's Grand Rapids.
You know when that thing?
The reason is we made it so
Yes.
obtuse that
Yeah,
it's
no
hard
one's
to
gonna-
Well, no, you know what it's also like? It's like when you know somebody's name, you're about to say it, and then somebody says the wrong name,
And you go, oh fuck.
and then you go, now I can't remember this motherfucker's
Yeah, I
name.
know.
When you're all sitting around being like, what's that guy's name? And
Do
I
they
go,
really work in insurance?
what's that?
Are they really insurance
State Farm?
salesmen?
I always say they work for State Farm. No, that's just my way and their way of saying like, look, we love this shit, but like, don't get it fucked up. Like,
We're adults.
yeah, we're adults. We're not trying to get fucking murdered in the street.
So that said, big ups. This is a neat little EP. Not my normal, but I actually, what I'll say is if this isn't really your bag, but you don't hate it. If you see them live and people are into it, it's fun to watch.
Pretty fun
to
yeah.
watch.
And here's a hot take. I don't know how you guys felt about the production. I feel like I have very little to do with all of those listens. Mm-hmm. I think obviously it's the band doing something that people like, mm-hmm. but I also really in my heart think that because this record sounds 10% bigger than its contemporaries, I think it matters.
100%. I think it's a very good recording.
A long conversation for us to have is the growing inscrutable ear of the modern hardcore listener. We'll talk about it some other time.
Ooh, I like that.
Code Orange, I'm King versus Detain, Capital Punishment. Patrick, you start.
Love the Detain record. The Code Orange record is very ambitious, so I got to go with that.
I Am King.
Oh, you're going Detain. Respect.
Heel turn.
Neither of these records is floating my fucking boat.
They wouldn't be on your mix.
They're not, no. And it's very hard because one is clearly a more, at least in the moment, much, much more important record.
Yeah.
I guess if someone asked me what kind of music do you like, I wouldn't put on either of these records. However, Detain might be closer.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. I don't think that's absurd because there's...
I don't think that's... And I don't say that as a diss. Again, always, this is all in... We're having a nice time listening to these records. I've listened to I Am King now probably 15 times.
Wow.
The Detain record I've listened to significantly less. But there's a couple parts that I'm like, yeah, this sort of resembles... And there's... If I could isolate it to like a clip, I would pick this clip of this, 15 seconds of this Code Orange song. But... It's way more than that. It's way more ambitious record, and it's very different. So props to that.
Cool.
All right. Last matchup of this episode.
Wow, that blew by. Are you serious?
This is so much fun. They don't.
Yeah,
it's really good. This is fun. The homework before this is tough.
Yes.
It can be when you don't have a lot of time.
When you don't have time. I'm fucking...
My man over here that puts together those playlists.
Yeah, thank you for the
playlist. A lot
playlist.
easier.
Make my life way.
We should have done the I Am King, and we could have all done it. Really, yeah, but you didn't.
Should we? Yeah. Okay. So
you went for Detain, though.
Capital Punishment.
All right, go. What? Oh wow, it's shaking it off. Let's go.
Criminal Instinct, Fever,
Shake it off.
2014, which I believe that song is relevant to the time frame. I believe Shake It Off was a big song around then. Why do I know that? Because Easton was a baby and they would have him dance to it at his little nurse daycare thing. It was cute.
Interesting.
Criminal Instinct, Fever, Reaper Records, 2014. Up against Angel Dust, Rock the Fuck On Forever, 2016, Popwig Records.
Sounds right.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with Criminal Instinct. This is one I'm actually very curious to hear your opinions on. Both of you.
I actually like this record. This sounds like if you were like, give me a modern band that does probably early to mid 80s like US hardcore, I think that's what this sounds like. You know what I mean? It's more punk than hardcore, if we're being honest.
In sound, yes. Production, no, but sound for sure.
Yeah, maybe not vocally. I think vocally it might be a little bit more hardcore.
I love the reverb vocals.
Yeah.
He's got going. It's dripping, but
I have no idea what I expected from this record. I heard the one after this, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. I don't recall this one.
Yes.
And I don't know what I expected, but I don't think I expected this.
Really different for you.
Yeah. And maybe it is that sort of strange cognitive dissonance of okay, is this early hardcore or is this is something that's happening now musically? And my brain reached...
Now that's what I call music.
You're right. My brain processed it with more confusion than, for example, like No Tolerance, which I was very
you were
easy...
able to point out what this is
very
about
easy,
or what it's trying to do.
Right. And this one was not as clear-cut for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know... Again, I don't know what I expected, but...
I think it's fascinating that as the cards fall, that it falls against Angel Dust, who in a lot of spaces is doing similarly like, this is off-kilter and maybe not expected. Musically, to me, I think Tom kind of nailed it. What I said was hardcore. It's hardcore, hard vocals, but but so much of the music makes me think of something like Circle Jerks, where like Circle Jerks are this like, are they in the first 10 names you list in the early 80s punk, US punk hardcore records? Yeah, absolutely. But they kind of don't sound like very much else. Yes, they sound like Black Flag.
But I mean, yeah.
But then if you listen to the song structure, if you compare anything from Damage forward, there's not a lot of parallels to the Circle Jerks.
Do you know
what
any
I mean?
UK stuff in this?
A little bit.
I feel like I heard a little Discharge.
Not
vocally.
No, not vocally.
But the music. Kind
a
of
little
that,
bit.
like, it's like heavy, like, but it's fat. Like,
so hard for people to separate Discharge music from D-beat.
yes.
Because this isn't D-beat. There's no D-beat to the drumming. But yeah, there is a little bit of gnarly in the good guitar that could be like that UK 82 kind of shit going on.
Correct. Right.
But I thought there's a lot of stop and go parts to it. I thought that like it made me think of Circle Jerk songs like I Just Want Some Skank. I just want some,
But
and the reverb vocals like very weird and unique. And the song I picked off here was the song Fever because it's the first track. It just feels really different, which to be honest, as we go through these 64 records, the ones that feel different feel fresh.
Yeah,
It's like
This stands out
No, they're satisfying.
compared to the rest of the field by a mile.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's in a good way or bad way yet. Like, I don't know.
You don't even know how you feel about
I
it.
honestly don't. I honestly don't. And I recall liking the record after this and thinking, I like this, but it feels harder.
I agree with that. I think it is harder.
The next one.
The close cast.
Yeah.
From Zone 6.
Zone 6, yeah. Zone 6 music, yeah.
It's just more. I think that's more formed, like a fully formed, like the record. Like there's a lot of like country, sort of like winks and
Americana.
nods kind of to it. It's like the cover was like like a cowboy on it. So I mean, I think that was a little bit more like mature, for lack of a better.
No, I think that's a good way to put it. I think that's
like
a good
this
way
is
to
like
put it.
their first shit, and this is like
Right.
fucking hard, and like, hey, me and my friends started a fucking hardcore punk band, and this is what it is.
And it's weird
The next
and
one
it's
was more
raw.
formed. I
like,
thought.
and so
Yeah,
these
big.
are guys from Atlanta.
Yep.
Foundation Crew-ish.
Yeah, and I
Kinda.
feel like Champ may have played on this.
Maybe, yeah. But it feels so fucking different. It doesn't sound like
No,
any
nothing
of
like
their
it.
other bands, anything else. You pointed out, does it feel like early, mid-'80s US hardcore? Yeah. But they don't try to do any cosplay in production.
No.
It comes out on Reaper because Reaper wanted to put it out.
Right.
They like the cover is a picture of people walking. It's very classical looking, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's not an homage to anything. It's not like too referential. It's a really fucking unique record, and I know there's people who really ride for it. I'm gonna say that it's raw and not in that like, oh, the production, it's so raw. It's raw in the way that these guys, it seems like a first effort and it has that kind of energy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I could go with all that. I think that the...
It sounds confrontational to me too.
Well, I was going to say...
Damn, did you put on that accent for the Atlanta?
I was
confrontational.
Sorry, man.
No,
my
No
gentlemen.
offense, fellas.
You know what that is, though, in my view, and what might separate it from kind of like the punk hardcore liminal period. These vocals are confrontational vocals.
Yes.
These are
The whole thing is like fuck you.
Yeah, these are not. It's not tough guy vocals, but
No.
it's actual fight outside of bodega vocals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I enjoy
Yeah,
that
the
part.
dude who's recording him is glaring at you while he's recording.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, like you're like I can't look him right in the face because he was looking. Is he still looking at me?
Right.
Oh fuck, he's still looking at me. Yeah.
So this is a band, and now Josiah, singer,
Yep.
moved to LA, right? Mm-hmm. This is a band who I want to see come back and tour the East Coast again, actually. After revisiting this record, I'm like, this is cool. I feel like this one resonated with people more than the full length.
That might be.
And they just did another single on Triple B, which I, again, will revisit.
with the brick.
The brick through the
Right.
window, which we all like.
Horde.
And I'm curious what they have next. I'm very curious. I think this is a band who I'd like to see be more active because, from what I understand, live they were a thing. People liked it. People
Yeah.
thought it was
For
good.
sure. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
We got to play with them a couple times. They're
That's
very
right.
good.
Anything else? It's cool. Yeah, I said the song Fever is kind of like, it's a standout track in that way that like it sets the tone. Much like we talked about Vane and a lot of these other bands where you hear the first song and you're like, oh, this is setting the tone. This is different. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're in or out. Angel Dust, Rock the Fuck On Forever. 2016, Popwig Records.
A band I don't know anyone who dislikes live.
I do.
Oh, you don't like them live?
No. I like them live.
Okay.
I know people who don't.
Oh, really?
people who want 2010 justice.
Oh, come on now.
I know they exist. There are people who want. I just lifted 4 cars outside, and now I'm
Right. They
Good
like
old
vibing on
muscle
stage.
they like that whole thing. Okay. Yeah.
So that said, even those people who want that can't deny what this band is live. They can't deny that it's fun.
I
It's
actually was going to
raucous.
interrupt and be like, actually, I like that thing. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
I,
A lot of people don't, but
So
I like that.
that was
I
a
think
fun
everybody
era.
at this table is into it.
but the
Muscle Dog Justice?
I mean, I'm a fucking TY stan, so I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
say
yeah,
much,
yeah.
this is different than that. Spoiler alert for anybody that didn't.
FYI, your
Yeah,
information.
Anybody that didn't listen
If
to
you got a
this yet.
concussion in 2011 and
Right.
it's just clearing up.
Right. If you could, coming out of your coma. Okay, here's the deal. Justice
Here's the song
is
Knox,
now
be good with it, and then the other
Right.
stuff we're going to ease you in.
right. This is better than I remember.
Hot take, I kind of like this record.
I don't think it's hot. People like it.
I think there's a lot of people who don't give Angel Dust because
Where is
you
this
know,
in the timeline? The Angel Dust timeline.
This is their last full
This
length.
is the most recent.
Yeah, they did
Did they put anything else after
I
that?
think they did a single.
Well, now
they
they're-
have a 2-song single
that-
that's out right now.
Right.
This is, I think, them finally kind of not getting where they wanted to go. I think this is them kind of being like, okay, we kind of got to where we want to go. What's next? What are we doing? One of the pieces that I put down in here is that there's a rock undercurrent. They definitely
Okay.
are.
For sure.
It's still the punk through hardcore lens, but they're getting more comfortable with melodies in an almost like a virginal way.
Okay.
It's like new and fresh, and it's like, oh, we're doing this, but they're still writing really short songs. If this had been in the episode we did the other day, I feel like it would have felt really fresh because those were there was a much more mid-tone, and not to say there wasn't here, but this record feels kind of breezy. You can kind of listen to it and it just cruises by. Some people might not care about that. Like, this is a record that I think could play very well to pop punk hits. I think it would play very well to non-core crowd. I think it would play very well if you were trying to convert an indie rock kid, a chick fan, to hardcore. I'd tell you, play them Cold World, and when they're scared and like, what the fuck is that? Then go, okay, no. You're not going to hear that again for a while. Here's this Angel Dust CD. Listen to this. See what you like. You know, we made the jokes about putting Nails to a montage of Molly Ringwald dancing around.
This would work too.
This works. Nails doesn't. This works for the montage.
Yeah. It's tough to talk about because if you use words like fun coming from us, that feels different than.
Does that feel like a pejorative from us?
Yeah. I think
Right, because
people
like fun for us is like sitting on a couch.
right. People that know me are going to think that I'm taking a dig right now
saying it's
These
fun.
are your people.
by saying it's fun.
No, but this is fun in a way that's like, if you're watching at a show, even if you're standing in the back, it's fun to watch. If you're
Makes me want to stage dive straight up. Like this is fun.
yeah.
Oh, do we have a dissenting opinion?
Yeah, I don't really like it.
Okay.
No offense to that. I mean,
No,
it's
nobody's
fine
taking
for what
offense.
it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe it's not for me. It's not meant for me.
See, I thought that about it. I
listen to it. It's cool. But again, like, I don't necessarily come to music for fun.
All right, here's what I'm
hear
giving
you.
you. Ready? We take a plane to California for some reason this summer.
Oh, okay.
Badger's not on
fight
fucking
firefighters.
tour. Not on tour. We're setting your dates up. We're in Echo Park,
Okay.
the little lake thing there.
Yeah.
They got a nice picnic area, grass. We're having a picnic.
You got vegan burritos?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We got
Sweet.
vegan hot dogs. A lot of
Sick.
bunch
Dope.
of people. We have a bunch of people there. Chips. The whole thing.
Right.
Like a party.
People that we like, they like us.
They like us. We like them. We're having a nice
Got it.
time.
Cool.
Beautiful women, beautiful men. Everyone's having a nice time.
Oh, it's like a-
sunny.
Then
It's
we
like
show up.
Snoop Dogg video.
Yes.
Well, sort of. But you know what? Then we could put this on the stereo. It's in the background of a picnic. Works. We can't put that Detain record on in the background.
True.
No.
Different type of picnic. Yeah.
Different. This could be nice picnic music. So when we do that this summer, we'll try it out and
This
see
is
how
what
you
we're gonna
like.
try.
See if it
All right.
rolls with
We're
you.
going to put this and then culture abuse on it. And
Right.
see,
That's
like,
good. Yeah.
You know what?
Or
That's-
the new Stories So Far record that people tell us about.
like
there
that
we go.
record.
I haven't
I-
listened.
It's good.
Those two bands should be playing together often. You know what I mean? Like Culture Abuse and Angel Dust.
It would actually be a nice fit.
So when we talk about non-core stuff, this is one of the more daring non-core bands.
And I think this record starts to lean to, and we're not going to talk about, we'll talk about the new single on another episode, or we might have already talked about it on one of our older episodes now. But
In the future,
you can hear the leans. You can hear where they're going. If you listen to this record, if their 2-song single that just came out shocked you, I'd go, my dude, did you listen to the last full length?
So hold on. Two recent-ish non-core releases. Drug Church and this record. This record is way bolder in its decisions. You know what I mean? And I love.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean? I really enjoy the Drug Church record. I sing on it, but this is. This is.
Of course, I enjoy it. I'm honest.
I'm on it. Well, I mean, there's at least one great part, but
We aren't going to ask his lion ass if he would listen to it if he wasn't the singer. We won't put him on the
you know
spot
it's
like that.
no.
oh, that's tough.
The answer is no.
That's really
I
tough.
know you well enough
would
to
not.
know
That's
you would not.
really tough.
You would definitely not.
Interesting.
Because if
You're
we
welcome.
brought that shit to here and you'd be like,
I had never thought of
with
that.
this like fucking pablum bullshit,
That's
you would hate
interesting.
You would listen to Self-Defense
Yes.
because it's fucking weird and challenging.
it. Right.
I would,
You
I would,
might
I would
enjoy
hate,
Drug
I would
Church.
hate on it a
You'd
little
be
bit though.
mad at
I would,
me.
I would hate.
You
I would
probably
listen
would.
to Self Defense, and I would.
You'd be like, this pretentious
This
motherfucker.
No,
motherfucker
I-
who sings for them doing all this weird shit.
I would
Whale
just be,
songs.
I would just
Put a
be able.
shirt on.
I would just be able to ID every element and scrutinize it.
apart?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
You would not like Drug Church.
I don't.
So
know, that's
I
a
didn't
great
want to tell you
question.
about the email I got from your dude Nick from Drug Church who said, "Oh, we're replacing Patrick. Don't talk about it anymore."
I mean,
They said they got, you know what they did?
what'd they do?
Dude delivered a burrito. They got to talking.
Oh, and then Zach De La Roca joined the band. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, that's a great look. So anyway, the point is,
Drug Church against the machine, bro.
not bad.
I heard they
It's a
actually
good
got
collab.
to take it from Husbandry instead.
That
would work.
People
Dude.
fucking love that song. But hold on, you
Luckily
look.
amazing.
You-
Yeah, no, I like the
she's
record.
incredibly talented
But
girl.
yeah, I mean, Drug Church would literally be playing in the Garden,
I agree.
and now you're playing the Olive Garden.
I agree.
Yo, I'll tell my Olive Garden story later.
So,
Fuck,
so
it's recent.
you like the Drug Church record. Do you agree though that this Angel Dust record is more? There's more quote unquote interesting choices. Is that fair?
No.
No, real. Okay.
This doesn't strike
I
me
thought-
as anything like
I thought I was going in
that
that
out
direction.
of. It sounds like I don't know. I'm
No,
sure
it's
it's
good.
fun.
Yeah.
I feel like when we put Culture Abuse and them together, I think it's two bands that like they're fun live.
Yeah.
You're not getting the record,
Some people love that Culture Abuse
A
record.
lot of people love that.
sure, but they don't sound like that record.
No, that might be
live.
true. Yeah, that might be true.
I feel like it's comparable with Angel Dust.
I think Angel Dust. I've only seen Angel Dust once, and I thought that
How many times have you played with them? You
I thought-
motherfucker. Answer the goddamn question.
who? No.
Angel Dust.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't think many. I don't think many.
More than once.
No.
No, I don't think he has, actually.
Yeah, I don't know
Really?
if I have.
You've never crossed
Ships in the sea.
Drug
Yeah.
Church in the
No,
Really?
I don't think so.
Right, which makes sense. They should.
There was a conversation.
That's on our 2019
There was a conversation
list.
about a spring tour, but it didn't line up.
You headline?
No, well, no. With Angel Dust,
really?
Angel Dust would have been the invite headliner, and then we would have fought them to see if we couldn't make it a co-headliner. But the times didn't
Yeah.
line up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
So they're pretty big.
what's that?
They're pretty big.
Yeah, I assume.
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure.
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at any rate, the decisions on this record, I think, are bolder than you're giving it credit because it's easy to. I don't want to list any bands because I feel like I'll be taking shots at them, but there's a safe way to do this and a more daring way, and I think they fall into the more daring
Let me
way.
be specific because I think one of the daring choices I think is that they go for they go for a lot of melody in very short songs.
Okay.
And that's a really tough thing. And that's one part that I would say if you compare it to Drug Church. Drug
their
Church
songs are
gets
2.5,
to
3 minutes
2.5,
long,
3 minutes,
yeah.
and they get
Standard
to fully
rock.
develop some of those
Yeah.
ideas. Whereas with the song structure for Angel Dust, I think it's pretty bold to go for some of the things they go for when they only have so many bars to do it in. Like the measures they have to try to accomplish some of
Okay.
these things, which is interesting and something I thought about listening to it because of the new single. Two new
bold.
songs. Well, and it's those haven't rubbed on me the right way yet. But like this, when I went back and listened to it, my standout track is Stay or Bad Thing. Stay is the like kind of the hit off this record. Oh, don't you stay?
Yeah.
And then the song Bad Thing I actually is a little deeper in, but that's a really cool song, and I think there's some fun stuff going on. There's a nature of Angel Dust that's a little bit daring in that when the dude from Trapped Under Ice with the Crown of Thorns tattoo started a new band called Angel Dust, I think we talked about
it
was either going to be
than...
more Crown of Thorns or just straight up like Scarhead.
Right, that's what I was assuming.
Me too.
It's got a fucking dollar sign.
Right, is it going to be is it Scarhead? Is this going to be Hazen Street? What are we?
Sure.
But then it's this like really kind of loose punk band, punky music.
Do you think it's skate punk?
There's skate punk elements, but it's the same thing to me. It doesn't have those like roots. There's no Token Entry or JFA or like Gangrene in this. It's doing it's you might have a passion for that kind of thing and trying to get that energy, but with a song background like an acumen that's from a very different place.
I've heard people write it off as his H2O band.
Ooh, I think that's unfair.
I'm not saying I've said
They could tour with H2O. I think sonically it could appeal to someone. There's a lightness to some of it that I think when people think of H2O in a negative way, there's a certain lightness to some H2O material.
Sure.
That I think, and like,
I mean, there's one person who's played himself on the internet and one who hasn't. That helps. That's a big thing.
That's a big thing. And there's it's
Justice
like
is still a thing.
And it's like, can you create light and airy music that is, fun, whether you use that as a positive or a negative word? Can you create light and airy music and have people still take you seriously?
See, I was
And
coming.
you're more aggressive at endeavors.
Yes, it is. I was coming.
And
from,
that's part of the daring part.
I was coming from a different place. I am on the other side of the Toby divide on H2O.
This is good because we're going to segue Toby from H2O into my Olive Garden story.
Did
he wait on you or something?
No.
I'm
He was
just
in there.
I'm
We
just
got
not
autographs.
I'm just not mad at Toby.
Me neither.
Whatever, it's fine. But
Right, but I know people
he's
are.
ruined himself on the internet.
Yeah.
Justice is still like, it's fucking justice.
You know what though? Let me say something. So who says it? Charlemagne maybe?
Just say it. Hot take. Patrick likes Toby's Instagram profile.
No.
He's aspiring for it.
It's just the.
You want to be in a photo with Matt Skiba.
What is it? It's the rule of 60, right? Like 60, rule of 80. Rule of 80. 10% of people gonna love it. 10% of people gonna hate it. 80% don't give a fuck. Yeah. That's how I think where Toby is online. Where like, yeah, I get it. Hardcore kids look at this and go, what is up with you and Josh Brolin? What's going on here?
Yeah.
But
He's an old punk.
But that's true actually.
He's on Rich Kids on LSD.
Yes, supposedly. But the doesn't exist in any photos. But
he was in RKLSD.
Something like that.
Yeah. He claims to be in RKL.
He's like the drummer or something.
Yeah.
No
photos, but whatever. Anyway, the point is
that's a weird fucking reach. That's a weird flex. Like I was in this fucking punk band that no one knows.
It's weird because people dispute it and try to use that.
They do. Try
no
to
photos, bro.
They do try to dispute it.
All right.
Anyway, but to maybe a Josh Brolin stan, maybe Toby's the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know.
Maybe Moby fans love Toby.
Yeah, exactly. Moby and Toby. That's my new sitcom.
So,
Toe Jam and Earl, Moby and Toby.
Drug Church playing Olive Garden.
Yes.
I'm in Florida.
Where Olive Gardens are necessary because there's not a lot of great food.
Right.
I was a little bummed. Like I ate at a couple good places while I was down in South Florida, but then a couple real bad ones.
We call it a food desert, I think.
True.
So I was looking, and I say to my 5-year-old son, "What do you want to eat for dinner?" He's like, "I want pasta." I'm like, "That's what you want." I'm like, "How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? Anything?"
Pasta.
It's like, "No, I want pasta." I'm like, "All right, cool." He had been good. I was like, "Well," I was like, "You know what?
Yeah.
I haven't eaten at Olive Garden since I was in Florida in 2005 on Righteous Jam's tour, and had a terrible toothache and couldn't do anything. And a couple guys from the tour were like, we're going to go to the Olive Garden. And I was like, all right.
And that was a treat in
It was
2005
fine.
on tour.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'll go. Fine. So I was like, when in Florida, when in Rome.
Yeah, hey.
I went to Olive Garden. It was undoubtedly the worst food I've eaten in so long.
Really?
Worse than I remembered. Actually, there was one other time I was at the Olive Garden, since then, I went to the Olive Garden in central New Jersey, and it was a pretty good experience. It was I went with
Thank God. I thought we were going to lose a
two
sponsor.
women from a famous New York punk band, actually. So there we go. But the food was so bad, and off the air. And then I, like, the woman sees me looking at this. I ordered some sort of pasta with a pesto thing. I took a bite and I was like, "Oh, that's not pesto. That's bad. Is that pesto? It tastes like no pesto I've ever eaten before." And she's like, "Is everything all right?" And I'm like, She's like, "Is that not good?" Like, the waitress said, "Is that not good?" I was like,
She's like, "Oh no, that's the cat liver."
I was like, "No, it's really not that good." And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want something else?" I was like, "Sure, I'll just have like pasta with marinara, I guess." And it was fucking awful too.
Look,
so I'm never going back again.
I've been
Not
once
even for the breadsticks.
They were not great.
I
couldn't believe it, man. Like, just go to Bertucci's or Carrabba's, I guess. But Olive Garden's out.
I won't pay. I won't pay for Italian unless it's like some sort of girlfriend.
If you're vegan, it's tough to pay for Italian.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah. All right, so let's make our vote. Criminal Instinct Fever. This is interesting. Versus Angel Dust Rock the Fuck On Forever.
I mean, I'm going Criminal Instinct.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going Criminal Instinct.
Good. We got the easy one out of the way. I haven't even thought about it yet, so I'm thinking about it right now.
I will revisit Angel Dust.
Sure.
For
You're revisiting it when we're in California at the park during a picnic.
Right, I got my shirt open.
We're throwing a football back and forth. You're going to be like, "Bob, you know what? This is pretty good." All right.
I have a Hawaiian shirt. It's open. I'm
fucking
wearing
having a
like
good time.
a white T-shirt underneath it. I got
Goofy sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a Cubano a type of hat as well as other things?
I thought it was a sandwich.
It's a good sandwich.
It's a good sandwich. What's the hat that's like
that Pitbull would maybe wear?
Yeah. Like if I was Pitbull, what would I wear? Pitbull hat. Hold on, give me a second.
Hold on. If this comes up like the clout bag, I'm gonna fucking freak out. Man.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
No,
it's
we
just
don't
me.
get.
Ain't a damn thing changed.
We don't. No, it's not. It's slightly different. Whatever the fucking difference
It's a
is.
straw
Google
fedora.
Cuban fedora.
Oh, there's Pitbulls wearing that type of hat, but
Wait, let me see it. Is that the thing I'm thinking of?
like this sort of shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What is that?
All right.
Oh, there's a photo of Pitbull at the San Antonio Rodeo.
Wearing said hat.
Is it a Trilby hat? A Panama hat?
Panama.
How'd I get to it? I Googled Cuban fedora.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, you're wearing one of those at the barbecue.
I'd wear that.
I'm wearing a jersey and probably basketball shorts. Fuck it.
You gonna wear like a Puerto Rican flag jersey?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go full dad. I'll just have like a polo shirt and like shorts that are maybe too short. We'll do that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Full dad could go either too short or a little too long. A little past the knee or before.
I had
Or
my
like
significant
you
other was like, I would wear cargo shorts. Like, no more cargo shorts.
I've
Can't
heard
do
that.
it.
Like, dude, they're utilitarian, man.
They
what are you
really are.
wearing? Full dad, what are you wearing for shoes? You going boat shoes? Are you going Jesus?
You should be going like
sandals?
You should be doing boat shoes for the vibe, for the effect of this. But I have to go. I have to
New
go.
Balances?
Yeah, I'll go New Balance. Fuck it.
White, new, like
That's how.
all white New
You know what? No, I'm gonna go old school. Reeboks, old school Reeboks with the
like the
blue.
nurse ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there we go.
It's a little bit more like curated, Dad.
Curated.
If for this event, that'll be it, and I'll stand by the grill with the fucking stupid
Just flip
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I'm going Angel Dust.
This is closer than I thought it would be with Bab.
I know. I'm gonna go Angel Dust.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
All right.
and that's hard because I think of this batch of records, the Criminal Instinct Fever is the one that really excited me on a deeper listen most. But that Angel Dust record is fun, and it's in a positive way fun. All right.
All right. So congratulations to our totally academic, doesn't count for anything winners.
Listen to the records, and then vote.
This was the end of bracket 3 of round 1 of MOSH Madness.